Yeah. Okay. What's up, my friends in Phil fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. Rumble is, I still have to figure out how to use this thing, this new studio on Rumble. I'll figure it out eventually. One of these days, we'll get it worked out. But yeah, we are here to talk about, it's been a busy July. A lot of big movies that have come out. It's been exciting to talk about all of them with two of my favorite people in the whole wide world to talk movies with. The first which being my hetero life mate, Jeremy. What's up, brother?
Well, we got there eventually, didn't we? I'm probably literally going to step up. Okay, well, I guess the dog is going to let me know that my food's here. So, yeah, as you can tell by my attire, I cannot see shit. But I got my horns on today, my round glasses, because, you know, it's been a long goddamn week since Ozzy's passed. I also ordered the Ozzy fucking burrito order, which the dog is flipping her shit about. So I'm going to go get that while you guys do your thing, whatever that is.
And of course, the shape of Lone Star State, my man Tex. What's up, brother?
You know, it has been a very entertaining summer. Some better than others. I mean, we've seen the F1s. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the superhero flicks we got. But hands down, easily, the most entertaining thing to come out of the summer 2025 is the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans ad. I've got so much longevity and enjoyment out of watching not just the commercials themselves, but the morons reacting to it. Like that's some entertainment, pal. I tell you what. Thank you, Sydney Sweeney, for many things, but you know, she's just the best.
Yeah, thank you, Sydney Sweeney, for a whole lot of things.
Yeah, thank you for literally contributing one thing to society, because then it gets really boring because you can't do anything else. But I digress.
Hey, you know, if you're really good at one thing, you don't need to do anything else. That's fine. That's all we need from her. It's all good.
Yeah, sure. We'll say that when she's 60, but okay.
By 60, she would have hit the wall a long time ago, and her replacement would have came by that point. So it's all good. Don't worry.
The crap that we talk about. Yeah, while you guys are
Uh-oh. Where'd Frank go? I think he pulled a plug. I don't know if we're live or not, so I'll keep talking just in case we are. I'm the only one here speaking. So what's up, everybody? Hope y'all are enjoying your fine Tuesday this evening. You know, the summertime is here. It is getting warm, so hope you're all hydrated well and out of the sun too much. Jeremy, are you okay? We have you. Okay.
No, I was not going to scream across the room. Just bullshit. Just talk.
Oh, I can bullshit all day. You know that. That's not a problem. So, there you go.
No, apparently I cannot fix this while I'm live, so we're just gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to download this to Rumble later.
Oh no!
But that's all right.
It's all good.
We'll be all right.
I kept saying meaningless random words while you weren't here. So.
Yeah, I think AJ's got it. I think he's just jealous because I don't allow him on the show because he doesn't say anything except "Mrrr." Hulk Hogan. That's all he ever says.
Hey, you guys!
Exactly. Yeah. So one of these days when we actually do the Goonies, we'll have to have Cora on because she's expressed her love for that movie so many times. Sarcasm.
There you go.
And we'll have Casey on for that one because he's like real life sloth. Just every now and again he'll be like Baby Ruth, and he'll be like, that's all it's gonna happen. But let's go ahead and get down to business. We are here to talk about The Fantastic Four: First Steps, which is the 2025 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team The Fantastic Four, produced by Marvel Studios, distributed by Walt Disney. It is the 37th film. That number gets higher and higher, and it blows my mind. It is the 37th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the second reboot of the Fantastic Four film series. The film was directed by Matt Shakman. It features an ensemble cast, including Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn as the titular team, alongside Julia Garner, Sarah Niles, Mark Gatiss, Natasha Lyonne, Paul Walter Hauser, and Ralph Ineson. The film is set in the 1960s of a retro-futuristic world which the Fantastic Four must protect from the planet-devouring cosmic being known as Galactus. Fantastic Four first steps premiered at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in Los Angeles on July 20th of this year and was released in the United States on the 25th. This is the first film of Phase 6 of the MCU. I feel like Phase 4 and 5 never really existed, but that's just kind of how it's going to go. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and has grossed over $217 million worldwide, this is as of Sunday, against a budget of $200 million. On Rotten Tomatoes, 87% of 321 critics gave the film a positive review. The site's critical consensus review reads, quote, benefiting from rock-solid cast chemistry and clad in appealingly retro 1960s design, this crack at the Fantastic Four does Marvel's first family justice. The Fantastic Four team will next be seen in Avengers Doomsday, of which they are currently filming their scenes. I'll go to you first, Tex, while Jeremy works down some of that sandwich. Give me your quick thoughts on the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I caught this one premiere day. Well, premiere day, for me, anyways. I didn't really. I mean, my feelings on Mr. Pedro Pascal and my growing dislike for the name, but I put that aside. I'm like, all right, I don't like to go into anything prejudgmental. Judge it on its own merits, but. This is fine. I mean, I've got issues with it, and we'll get into that when we get into the plot and other things, I'm sure. But this was both this and Superman were very very middle of the road, very, very similar in a lot of ways. Both very comic booky, both very. I mean, there's a lot of similarities in plots and things. It's kind of odd, actually, but it was. I don't want to, spoil too much. It was fine. We'll talk more about it. I wasn't crazy or jumping for joy or whatever, but there were things that I liked and a good bit of things I would have changed, but wasn't
it? Jeremy, how about you? Give me your quick thoughts on Fantastic Four, and then we'll get into all the spoiler talk.
First of all, this is a fire-ass burrito. God damn. So I apologize if everybody has to hear me getting sensual over here with no visual reference, but don't worry about it. Yeah. I thought this film was actually kind of fun. I always enjoy retro futuristic, like alternate history type things, because being a big fan of the Fallout series, what I'm talking about. Like, how is it the year 2077 and everything looks like it jumped out of the page of like a comic book right in this same era? It's like retro futuristic stuff that's like kind of 50s 60s esque. I really like that. I like that vibe, and I appreciate that they went with it. I also appreciate that it's in its own Earth, its own universe, and kind of self-contained, even though it's going to take about 12 seconds for it to just spill into the how many movies did you say, like the other 74 fucking movies that are in the Marvel universe? So
it? Why not? Just pick a number.
Whatever you say. I mean, because we all saw Thunderbolts, New Avengers, whatever it's even called anymore, and we saw them coming in. And we'll get to the end credit stuff, which also just kind of we know it's coming. But I had fun with this movie. I'm not gonna go back and forth on this same argument of we're back, we're not, we're back, we're not, we're back, we're not, because it's fucking really played out and it's annoying. I'm just gonna, as the movies come out, I'm just gonna try and be objective and whether I like them or not. So this is a roller coaster. I'm not about to, I'm like that guy. If you've ever seen him on the internet, where he goes on roller coasters and he straight faces the entire time, and it's the funniest shit ever. He's riding a roller coaster going down the hill, but he's just like got his arms crossed and he's just straight facing the whole video. That's kind of how I feel right now. Like watching some of these Marvel things.
Yeah,
you know, positive review of had fun. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, look. Marvel's been taking baby steps back since they decided to pull back a lot of their.
You mean first steps?
Their content. Well, no, I mean no. I say because the first steps in this MCU were fantastic. It was Iron Man. It was Captain America, the first Avenger. Those are the first steps. But but the problem is they inevitably broke everything from the waist down or from the chest down or however you want to call it. They basically were roadie. They were broken for like the last two phases, with the exception of some really bright spots here and there. They were struggling to figure it out. I think the last couple of movies they've taken small steps back. They've kind of tried to right the ship. This was a huge swing, and I think it was a hit. I think it's there's some things about this movie I'm not fond of. I'm not gonna lie, but I think we are closer now to the kind of product that we got in the first three phases of the MCU than we've been since Endgame. With the exception of maybe like, on the movie side anyway, with the exception of like Shang-Chi, which I still think is a fantastic movie. But I think we're most of the way back now. I still think there's some room to grow. There's obviously a lot of setting up of whatever the universe is going to be going forward. You know, we're past the Infinity Saga now. A lot of characters have aged out or died or whatever. So we have to start rebuilding what this new universe is going to be, but what this new version of it's going to be. But I think we're on much firmer ground in the MCU now. My only knocks in the movie are a few weird editing things and like one casting choice that I still just can't get behind. But we'll get to that here in just a minute. But
yeah, we're out of the paperweight saga. Woo, we did it, guys.
Yeah, let's talk.
As much as I love Loki, that still pisses me off.
Let's talk about the director first. Let's talk about Matt Shakman. A brilliant job he did with WandaVision, which I think is an absolutely fantastic TV show. I think it's one of the best things that Marvel's done since Endgame, maybe the best. Came in to do this after Webb, the guy who had done all the Spider-Man movies, had bowed out and said he wanted to take a break from superhero films. I thought he did a fantastic job building this world. There's a lot of how he built, the world in WandaVision in this movie. I can see some of the visual cues. I'll go to you first, Jeremy. What do you think about how Matt Shakman did directing this job, and maybe just his work with Marvel overall?
I'm kind of looking through it right now. I'm not really sure what other stuff he's really done. This says Fantastic something or rather, which might be for Fantastic Four. Marvel Studios assembled. I can't talk today. Good God. Just the 10 of us, 1988 to 1990. This dude was apparently a child star. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess really all I had to go off of is this, but when you were saying that a second ago, I'm like, I kind of feel like this is what we should have been doing, like this whole time. Like something more along this vibe. Because I enjoyed this, and I was actually more excited. I actually went. I mean, it should say something that I actually went to go see this, as opposed to some things where I'm just kind of like, I'll get the cliff notes later. As they say, like, I had to, as Kevin says, I have to do all the damn homework, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna get the cliff notes and copy up someone else's test because I'm not doing that. But I thought this was I almost just said fantastic, but I'm gonna try not to make that pun. But yeah, like I said, you hit the visual aesthetics, you hit the the team dynamic, the family dynamic for one thing, and I don't know. I'm sure we're gonna talk about Galactus and Silver Surfer here in a second, but there's a couple things that will change about that, but overall, yeah, solid, like a rock, you would say.
Tex, what do you think? Again, it's been a bit of a journey for Marvel the last several movies, the last several years. A lot of things that were self-inflicted. A lot of things were just kind of bad luck, COVID and strikes and all that. It's been a struggle for the MCU. Do you think this is a solid step in the right direction?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just to say,
Did that show even happen? I don't think it happened.
I don't think Disney Marvel wants you to remember Ironheart, but
they needed this to fucking work because
yeah, I mean, they finally give you Mephisto in the show nobody wanted to see. Good job, Disney. That was a smart decision. But
thanks for being in the Marvel.
Yeah, as far as this one goes, I know, Frank, you live by the "in Feige we trust" phrase, motto, whatever you want to call it. I'm nowhere near that, especially with the comments he's made recently about, oh, well, we're not just going to put Mahershala Ali in a black costume and have him killing vampires. People expect more out of a movie than
Right.
that. No, Kevin Feige, that's exactly what we want. Literally, we're not we don't need a deeper message.
That's what they expected from the Wesley Snipes stuff. This has got to be
Right.
different.
Okay, so you're telling me if today a Blade movie with Mahershala Ali exactly the same way as the Wesley Snipes were, that doesn't make whatever. Kevin Feige, I'm not a Feige believer. That's my whole point. But with this film, I actually had hope. Now, obviously, I crap on a lot of Marvel things. I'm not an MCU guy. I think I think just about everything besides maybe Deadpool and Wolverine and the third Spider-Man and moments of WandaVision have been garbage. Some of Loki was good. I didn't like a lot of it. I thought a lot of it was meandering at times. But, with this movie going into it, I had hope. Matt Shakman, I'm pretty sure he's like a TV director. That's why he doesn't have a lot of credits from what I looked up whenever I was researching, what I needed to do. But there's a lot of good things that this movie has. I love, just like you and Jeremy touched on a minute ago. I love the aesthetic of this movie, the 1960s, the retro future punk kind of whatever steampunk or whatever they call it, whatever that is. I love the look of this world. I like the designs of the suits. I like the white and the blue. I like a lot of the things. I like how a lot of the Jack Kirby stuff from the old Fantastic Four made it into this movie. But I thought a lot of this movie was boring shit. There's a lot of good action in this film, but they don't give you nearly enough for it. There's a lot of exposition getting set up, a lot of talking, get to the, whatever. Now my biggest complaint with this movie is why the fuck did they depower Galactus the way that they did? But I'm sure we'll touch on that later too. But of course, I hated the Silver Surfer. That still grinds my gears. Not a fan of the Pedro. I needed more action. It was, like I said, I don't want to be too negative on this because
you're getting into the cast. I wanted to talk about Matt Shakman.
I know.
His job.
I know. I'm covering all this with Matt Shakman. But when it comes to Shakman and what he did fine. But I don't know. This is a mixed bag for me for him. I mean, he should have done a lot of things better.
I love what he did with this movie. I mean, for one, I like the idea of taking us kind of out of the MCU that we've known for all these years and putting us out of the 616 rather, and putting us in this different universe to where we can't ask that question of why didn't they just call Iron Man? Why did they just call the Avengers? Why didn't they just call Thor? Those people, as far as we know, don't exist in this universe. So we kind of in our minds have to keep all this contained. I love the look of it all. I think it's funny as we get farther and farther away from the 60s, all the things that, I mean, I saw this meme just earlier on Facebook. It was like, 40 years ago, we thought we were going to have, or 40, 50 years ago, we thought we were going to have flying cars. We were going to have moon colonies. And now we're putting Twinkies in anti-theft packages instead because, that's because the world did not go the way we wanted it to. Look, I love the world that he built. I thought it was cool. I thought it was visually stunning. It's probably one of the more visually stunning movies we've had since the Eternals or the first Black Panther. I thought the world building was crazy good. It's a beautifully put together world that they live in. The characters are very well put together as well. I mean, while I have an issue with one member of the cast, and we'll get to that in a minute, I thought the way that the characters were designed and put out there, and by both the actors and the director, were fantastic. This is exactly what we need, because we are going to get, and maybe I'm looking a little too far forward here, but we are going to get a little bit of the fish out of water story that we got from Captain America when we see the Fantastic Four showing up in Doomsday, which I assume is not going to happen in their world. I assume it's going to happen in ours, especially after the post-credit scene for the Thunderbolts. I assume they come to the 616, and that's where shit's going to pop off. So we are going to get a little bit of that fish out of water story. I hope they don't fuck with the costumes too much. I kind of like that kind of 60s. look they had in the costume. It's very comic book realistic and very cool. But
it would make them stand out. Like, please don't lose those suits, man. Those are cool.
I want that bright blue against the dark colors of all the other people's, costumes and stuff. I thought it looked great. But I love the world that he built. I love the story of this. I love how this goes back to the one thing that Marvel movies had lost in large part since Endgame, is you could come into any MCU film in phase 1, 2, 3, and you might not get some of the in jokes, but you can start your journey in the MCU there and not feel like you missed anything. This was the first movie that I felt that since Endgame, where I didn't feel like I had to know the rest of the universe to understand this movie, what the stakes were, who the characters are at their core. I felt like I could jump in here and I was falling into one of those movies from the first 3 phases. Now, not connected at all, obviously, because it's happening in a different universe, but it felt like one of those movies was just fantastic. And again, Matt Shakman is fantastic. I mean, WandaVision, I think, is one of the best things the MCU has ever done. It's probably one of my top 5 MCU properties of all time since Iron Man, since Iron Man happened in 2008. Now I think it was, or something like that. But 2008. Again, a fantastic world. I mean, his knack for the visuals, to me, it was on display in WandaVision. Here is the one where he really gets to really laser focus in on something and give us some of the views that we got. I mean, I couldn't find a whole lot of great pictures of the cityscape, but I mean, there are some fantastic shots. I mean, you can see them in the trailers flying through on the Fantastic Car and stuff like that. The weird look of the buildings. It looks like something out of the Time Variance Authority, the TVA, and Loki. I don't know if you got that. If you got that, Jay, but a lot of the people who did some of the set work for Loki were also in on doing this. So
I was going to say that set had like a weird 60s-ish, almost 70s vibe with how much brown there was, or 80s even. Yeah, I really like that aesthetic of Loki.
Yeah, it was a killer aesthetic. I loved everything that Matt Shakman brought to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do later on. I don't know if Matt Shakman's scheduled to do anything else for the MCU. I guess I could look real quick. Matt Shakman. I can't spell his name apparently. There we go. You want to spell it with a C. But looking at his filmography,
not a lot.
WandaVision.
I think Tex might be right. He's got other stuff. TV wise, not necessarily movies.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at TV. But yeah, filmography. He's got nothing. Well, on Wikipedia anyway. But I mean, look at some of the other stuff he's done. He's done some big TV. He did Everwood, big show. Judging Amy, big show. 6 Feet Under, big Boston Legal. One Tree Hill. I didn't watch. My girlfriend watched it. I don't. Everybody Hates Chris.
I used to watch it back in the day.
He did several episodes of Psych, which is a really funny show, very popular. Several episodes of House MD. Weeds, good show. Chuck, good show. Revenge, Mad Men, Fargo.
He's a big TV guy then.
A couple episodes of Game of Thrones. Not a bad way to do it. He did an episode of The Boys. Can't complain there. It's a great show. I love that. All of WandaVision, of course. And now he's been doing some of the Monarch: The Legacy of Monsters, which I still haven't watched. But Tex, you said that's a great show.
Monarch was really good. I'm actually looking forward to season 2. It's already been shot apparently.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with the MCU in the future, because I think he was the right guy for this movie. I think having Webb do it would have been cool, but having a fresh face come in here and do this was maybe a little bit fresher eyes, how they're going to do the movie stuff, especially with the transitioning back to Bob Iger away from Bob Chapek. I think having a fresh set of eyes and new hands on one of the properties is probably a very important thing. And now let's get to the cast. And you're only going to hear me bitch a little bit here. The cast of the movie, overall, I give it an A. I don't think they could have cast this a whole lot better, with the obvious exception. I'll go to you first, Tex. Give me your thoughts on the cast. Who stood out to you the most? What do you think of them overall?
Well, I'm sure Jeremy's going to copy part of my answer here, but Joseph fucking Quinn was the star of this movie. He had the greatest hero journey. I mean, starts out as he likes, hot women in space, and he ends up, he actually goes through it, struggle of figuring out the language, and if not for his contributions, none of this gets done. I thought Joseph Quinn and I can't remember the guy's name that plays Ben Grimm, the Thing, in this movie, but by far heart of the film, tremendous. Pedro, he is not Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry. He was tolerable in this movie. I'm not going to crap on him as much as I normally would. He was tolerable, but just not right for the role. And knowing that he was not even in like the top 3 choices that Disney wanted for this movie, it really kind of tells. Jennifer Garner or whatever her name is Silver Surfer. No, I'm sorry. I don't like the girl Silver Surfer. I understand it was in a couple comics. I don't care. Don't
Julia
at me.
Garner.
I hate it. Julia Garner. Sorry. I was thinking Deadpool and Wolverine, Jennifer Garner. My bad. But either way, that's not my Silver Surfer. I'm not interested. I thought the guy that played Galactus was really good. Like I said, would have liked to have seen a bit different how they did him, but I can't give this cast an A. B, like B minus, like maybe the highest I could go, just because of Joseph Quinn and the guy who plays Ben Grimm really bringing it. I still prefer Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman, not blondie girl here, but whatever. That's just
Yeah, I was just reading, and I was reminded that Matt Shakman was actually supposed to direct an upcoming Star Trek film, but left that to go do this movie, which probably worked out great because that Star Trek film ended up getting canceled. So good job, Matt Shakman.
Well, considering the Paramount Skydance deal, I wouldn't want to be there.
Well, that and they've been screwing Star Trek up anyway, but that's a whole other stream where my Trekkie.
Well, they turned Star Trek into Harry Potter, so you get to enjoy that.
Well, Harry Potter was good. I don't think most of the Star Trek stuff lately has been, so I don't even agree with that. But I'll go to you next, Jeremy. What are your thoughts of the cast and who stood out to you the most?
Jesus fucking crisis, dog. Obviously, it's Eddie Munson. I don't know why we're even asking me.
Right.
And like we were saying, he at least had, among the rest of the Fantastic Four, it's like they all had something to contribute to the team, and Joseph Quinn was pretty instrumental to that. Being that he probably was the only one like that shot there where he could have actually just dipped up into space to try to be like, hey, you want to explain yourself? You don't just come down here and say, hey, you're all gonna die. Have a good day. Bye. I'm like, whoa, bitch, hold on. And he kind of gets down that rabbit hole of trying to figure out her language and like what happened to her, get the backstory a little bit, because without him, I mean, at least I feel like something was missing there with Shia LaBeouf, because I'm like, she's just there and then she's there again, and I'm like, okay, I mean, cool chase scene. That was hit me on the edge of my seat, but at least give some some backstory to her.
I like how you
I'm not like everyone else on the internet who just hates her because she's a woman. Like, there are female variants of other fucking characters in comic books.
It's not
Shia so fucking butthurt about it.
It's not Shia LaBeouf. It's Shalabal, but close enough.
I didn't say you know what?
A Shia LaBeouf.
I don't want Shia LaBeouf on a fucking
take my money.
Either.
I'll be there for that. That one's interesting.
No, he doesn't need to be near anything anymore. Like, I liked you in Even Stevens. I liked you in Holes, man. And then
just for the car wreck that would be, I would go watch.
But everybody, I mean, like I said, everyone had a hand in it. Even the Thing, which I kind of feel like there was something missing with him too, like with
the voice was missing.
Movie.
What the hell,
I'm not. I can get past that. I mean, like Michael Chiklis just sounds like that, so everyone's like, "Oh, he did the voice." I'm like, "No, he didn't. He fucking just sounds like that."
Yeah.
So dude's just talking. I mean, like, whatever.
Say the thing, Ben. Say the thing.
Yeah, like the chemistry works. Like the chemistry works between the Thing and Johnny because of course they're at each other all the time, like siblings would do. Pedro and Vanessa Kirby, I thought they at least portrayed Reed and I almost said Stu. Jesus Christ, Sue Storm pretty well.
Well, it is paid.
I can. I don't know why it feels like it would. I don't know if it's more expensive this way or not, but I'm like, can you stop giving me a jump scare with a fucking CGI baby? Jesus Christ, people. Put an infant in there. I mean, have we really just gotten that lazy? I feel like it's probably easier just to put a baby in there. Now, for the scenes of since he's basically a an infant god. Like he's gonna just boop and just hey, mom's back alive. Okay, sure, you can make that work, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like something was missing with Galactus. I was with my last one with Galactus. I'm like, I feel like a little bit something was missing. Now, am I excited because have I been saying so many times that I want to see Galactus on screen? Yes. I don't think that's the last we'll see of him. I mean, you push somebody in a portal, I mean, he's going to come out somewhere else, So I don't think that's the last of him. I wouldn't want that to be because, like I said, I visually thought that was tremendous. I was like, that's what I've been wanting. As soon as I saw that first trailer, I saw them big horns come over the cityscape. I'm like, ooh. I shifted in my seat a little bit. I was like, ooh, okay, I'm excited. You have my attention. So, but yes, Eddie Munson always, forever, hellfire.
Yeah, there's two people kind of run away with this movie for me, and that's the brother and sister of Sue Storm and Johnny Storm. I'm a Vanessa Kirby fan anyway. I've been watching her since I first saw her playing the young Princess Margaret in The Crown. She is a fantastic actress. I've seen her do a couple of different things since then. She's displaying her range very, very well. But man, Joseph Quinn, I didn't know how I wanted him to play this role because I know what the character is, having read the comic books. I know that the parts of the Chris Evans Johnny Storm that I enjoyed, but I was like, I don't know that I necessarily want him to be that Johnny Storm, or if I want him to give his take on the comics, or if I just want him to be Eddie Munson who can catch fire and fly. I didn't know what I wanted him to be until he showed me in the first few minutes of the movie, and I was like, that's right. That fits what I want you to do with the character. I thought he was extremely enjoyable. I also did enjoy Ebon Moss-Bachrach. I mean, for one, I'm a fan of the TV show The Bear. I think it's a fantastic show. I just finished watching the most recent season about a week or so ago. He is fantastic. I love this fucking guy. He's got a great look. I love how they, rather than showing little bits of him like early in the movie and just letting him be the Thing, they actually go back to his human form at various points in the movies to remind you that he is a person and not just this rock. That's something that they didn't do very well in the Tim Story movie or the ones that were done by Fox early, forever ago. And something they didn't do very well in those movies. They didn't do very well humanizing that character. But I love Ebon Moss-Bachrach. He's fantastic.
And they gave the Thing the eyebrow. God damn it! Finally,
yeah.
No idea how much that adds to the character.
And a beard.
You know what? And a beard.
Once again, I know that's another thing that was in the comics, but when it comes to the Thing, I like that classic 60s style look that he has for most of this movie. Now, my biggest complaint with the Thing is the whole point of the character is you want to see the Rock like human. They shouldn't have had him in the shirt. They should have had the Rock showing. That's the whole point of, you want to see the monster or whatever. So, like, I understand, cool uniforms, going to sell toys and Halloween costumes. But that's one thing I would have changed with him. But I wasn't a fan of the beard. I mean, yeah, it looked cool for a second. Then I'm like, okay, go back to what you're supposed to be. But
I know that's obviously a throwback to the one comic book storyline where he's got the beard and he's been alone forever. I mean, it's a nice visual cue. I thought it was played more as a silly Easter egg for laughs because the whole him shaving and then the power goes out and he has to stop shaving.
In this film, though, they used Ben's beard as a framing device for how long of time they've been working, and that's kind of, I think, why they did that. Plus, you've never seen it on screen before, so it throws something new. So I know why they did it. I just like a more traditional looking, character models. So I would have kept more regular. But yeah, like Jeremy said, the eyebrow, they finally got the eyebrow right. It looks incredible. I mean, and it was a practical suit pumped up by CG, which same thing with Galactus. I was shocked whenever they actually showed the Galactus costume. I was like, holy shit, that looks fucking amazing.
Yeah,
was awesome.
I'm really bummed I couldn't get a good look at a good picture of
Yeah.
Galactus, but I mean, here's a picture of his ship if nothing else. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff that's like animated or stuff that's drawn or painted. But I don't have a good picture of Galactus in the film. I thought Galactus was very well done. I loved his design. I loved his. Ralph Ineson, who most recently I saw. I'm sure there's been other things he's done. Most recently, he was in the last several episodes of Chernobyl, which I still say is one of the best miniseries ever made. And several other things as well. He was also perfect for the role. And again, you're not really seeing much of his face. It's really just the voice. But I love the fact that he's got that kind of gravelly, weathered, textured voice that you would that you didn't have to put a lot of you didn't have to do a lot of work at ADR, have to mess with it a lot to give him a, I don't want to say like a computery sounding voice, but a otherworldly sounding voice. He's got a little bit of that texture to himself. So all you have to do is give it a little bit of static behind it, and he's got the voice to play Galactus. And as much as you don't like it, I really like Shia LaBeouf. I don't personally care about a male or a female Silver Surfer. I don't give a shit. We've done the male Silver Surfer in the other movie, and it worked, and it was great. I liked it. I liked Lawrence Fishburne doing the voice for that. Actually, was fantastic. I like what this Silver Surfer does. I mean, I also like it. They actually display a little bit more of the backstory. Now, it's been a little while since I've watched Rise of the Silver Surfer, I have to admit, so I don't remember if they did or not. But I like to actually give you the visual of her having to make that decision to leave her daughter to go choose the worlds that Galactus is going to eat to save her world, and the whole her transforming into the Silver Surfer and all that. I like that little bit of background. I don't remember if they did that for the Silver Surfer and the other Fox ones. I can't recall. They might have.
I think they talked about it, but I don't think they showed it. But I do want to clarify on this whole film. I don't just want to be, old man ranting on the internet about something that ultimately doesn't matter. I do have justification, at least in my viewpoint, for this. This is the first time we're seeing a proper MCU Silver Surfer. I have no issue with variants. We've seen 1,000 of them with different characters in the MCU already. I have no issue with a female Silver Surfer popping up. Hell, how many different versions of Loki were on that, couple seasons of TV? Like 100 or so. God, there were, that alligator Loki. But for the initial introduction of the titular character of Silver Surfer, if you go to the internet to buy a Silver Surfer action figure or a comic book or a store, you're going to see the Norrin-Rad Silver Surfer. So introducing him into this world, you need to go with that version. Not saying you can't do Shia LaBeouf later on or in Infinity, or not Infinity War, but Doomsday or Secret Wars, whatever. I'm cool with that. I like the variants. I like the variety. But for the initial introduction, for your first time seeing, they should have went with Norrin-Rad, and that's my whole.
I don't think it matters.
Like we didn't see the original Johnny Storm in the Deadpool Wolverine. I'm like, he does exist. So like, everyone calm your fucking titties. He's a different goddamn universe. He's still in there. He's just in this one. And I bet if it was Sydney Sweeney, he wouldn't fucking say a word. But I'm not gonna say it out loud.
All right, you know what? Hey, put her in the middle. We'll see what happens. Just saying. But,
I like I said, I don't think it matters. I look. I don't think that it is. It's kind of like we were talking about when they came out with the Hellraiser remake for Hulu a year or two ago that we reviewed, and then making Pinhead. I know they got a lot of shit because they made Pinhead a female, and a lot of people were like, Pinhead is not a man or a woman in the source material.
Yeah, no, I was fine with that. That was more,
but there were a lot of
more
people
canon than anything.
Well, there were a lot of people that were complaining about that, and I'm just like, is the character good? Is the most important question. I like this character. Now, if the character would have sucked, I might have been like, maybe we should just try to go back to the original, the one that we're used to anyway with the male, the one that we had seen previously, another version of that. But this character didn't suck. It fit right into the movie very, very well. And again, you get a chance to connect to that character a little bit, seeing how she left her daughter and her home world which apparently everybody looks exactly human, which I always find kind of funny when you find alien worlds, they're all humanoid.
Right.
But that she made this sacrifice a long time ago, and that's a very humanizing characteristic that we don't usually see from the bad guys in a movie like an MCU movie. So yeah, I thought it was a great character. I thought the CGI was good. I mean, because
the CGI did look better in the movie. I will say that.
Yeah, the CGI. I don't have much of a problem with the
comparing the trailers to actually seeing it on screen. They did improve the look of the Silver Surfer, especially like the up close shots. The CG did look better on her than what we saw.
Yeah, but I'm gonna bitch now. Sorry, I wanted him to be good, and he's not bad. Pedro Pascal's not the guy. He's looking at other versions of Reed Richards that we've gotten, even just recently with the 5 minutes that we got John Krasinski, which they completely teased my cock with that one, to go to hell, Disney, and with Ian Guffland, and even with Miles Teller in that one-off movie that wasn't very good. He's like, all those characters have a certain confidence that you figured Reed Richards would have, being the smartest guy in the world. And I don't understand why through most of this movie, especially after seeing him as Joel and as Din Djarin, why Pedro Pascal's version of this character is such a sniveling bitch. It's like, I understand, like, the whole scene where they come back from seeing Galactus and they say, "Are we safe?" And he goes, "I don't know." That was a great plot point, and I understood the dialogue and all that. But the entire movie, it's like he's playing catch up to everybody else, and he's supposed to be really, with the possible exception of Shuri, the smartest person in the MCU in the comics. Like, he's the smartest man in Marvel, some say. And this is the guy who doesn't. I mean, dude, this guy built basically a 1960s version of Earth that won't exist in real life for another 400 years. He's transporting eggs from one side of the room to the other like fucking Star Trek. He's building these planetary defense systems that go to his little beeper watch, go to his Apple Watch every time a comet farts or coughs. And he is this just completely unconfident. It's one thing to be concerned, but the way he plays the character, he plays it out of his fucking depth for the entire movie. And it's disappointing because there's a couple of scenes here where I really wanted to like him. I love the chemistry between him and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as the two buddies. I love that. There were several moments here where they're trying really, really hard to connect him. And it's just to other characters, and it just never works. There's never a moment in there where, for all their effort, that you feel like that he's really connected with anybody at any kind of a level. More importantly, the viewer. He just look. I again love him as an actor. Love what he's done in Last of Us. Fantastic show. Love what he's done in Mandalorian. An overall, like, fantastic show. He does not fit this role. And I will say it again. I think a big part of it is if they were going to not cast John Krasinski, and again, we did this to ourselves with John Krasinski. We rolled ourselves up hard, we put ourselves away wet. Disney didn't do it, but they should have come right out and said, "We are not casting John Krasinski for this role." Instead of letting us go on for almost literally 5 years of all this fan casting. Oh, it's done. It's done. Even I at one point was saying, I bet you it's been done for a long time. They just can't announce it because the strikes put all the filming back, and COVID and all this stuff got in the way of them timing that announcement that they had a deal done. But wrong guy. And I have a feeling the main reason they signed him to do this is because he's already kind of in-house doing Din Djarin with Lucasfilm, which is owned by Disney. So I feel like if
it wasn't going to be John Krasinski, it should have been John Hamm. Could you imagine a John Hamm in a 60s style Fantastic Four?
It's not the actor, it's his performance. Like I said,
John Hamm is a fantastic actor.
He is a great actor. He is a great actor. Pedro Pascal is a good actor. He didn't do good here. I'm sorry.
He should
gonna be the goddamn Superman problem again. If you have Superman, who's a god, well, he should never lose anything ever for the history of the rest of time. That's fucking boring.
Well,
That's stupid because you have to have something that can go against him. If even if
well,
all you know about Batman is he's the world's greatest detective, right? You know that. It's implanted in your head. Even if you badly understand the Fantastic Four, he's the smartest guy in this universe. Hold on. He's the smartest guy in this universe. So for this guy, and everyone is all right. They all think, oh, they left and they came back a month later. They're all like, oh, great. So they have full confidence in this team. Like, you guys do it. And then for the smartest man in the world that to come out there and say, like, I don't know. That should be your shit your pants moment. Like, if he doesn't know, we really don't know, and we are screwed. That's what gives that so much weight, because he's like, I am trying to figure this out, because as a person of that intelligence, he is constantly thinking, he is constantly analyzing, he's constantly running through scenarios. And not only does he have this thing that just basically 5 minutes ago told him, hey, I'm going to eat your whole planet unless you give me your kid. It's like, oh, okay. How about no? And we're going to go figure this out. However, we're going to figure this out, right? And he's like, this is something that predates us by millions, probably billions of years, something that we don't even understand. He's like, I understand this. I understand this world and this world that I've built and that I am a part of. But he's like, we're talking about some cosmic force that has not been seen, until now. I'm like, that should bend your mind a little bit. Like, that's what gives him the character depth of like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be the smartest man in the world, and I don't even know how to handle this. But again, he has Vanessa Kirby to go against. He has Johnny Storm. He has the Thing. It's like I said, they all play their team dynamic, and they get the shit done. Well, you can't expect him to solve every problem.
At least in Superman, you have the MacGuffin, that little thing called kryptonite. So you have the one thing that can damage him. It seems like in this movie, he's smart enough to create all this shit, to design and build all this shit, to somehow power all this shit. And it takes Vanessa Kirby's speech for him to basically trip and fall on the solution.
He can't do anything in this movie unless Vanessa Kirby tells him to. He's
not fucking true. We just sat here and did Independence Day, and you had David, who figured out all this shit. He's supposed to be this smart fucking guy, Jeff Goldblum, and some fucking speech about religion that his dad did. He's like, "Oh my fucking god, a virus! Why didn't I think of that?"
Yeah, but David is not. David is not the level of intellectual as Reed Richards.
I'm not saying that.
Is the smartest person in a universe.
He's apparently the smartest one amongst them.
Well,
he's amongst them. He's not the smartest amongst the superheroes.
I think part of the problem with this, though,
like someone says something, and it's like something you didn't think of, and it's like something offbeat and mildly kind of related.
That doesn't work for Reed Richards, who's 100 times smarter than the next person. That's not a good way to do things for him.
Again, he'd be boring. Part of the movie will be over in 10 minutes.
But that's when I want to see him spend a good portion of the second and maybe even third act building himself up to it. Or maybe he's fucking around in the lab, some kind of shit blows up, and he's like, oh, wait a minute, that's the problem. You ever see Real Genius, Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
We're going to review that at some point. I think it's a fantastic movie. But he has the same moment. He has this little wig out moment. And then rather than somebody else saying something it's kind of a similar situation, but different. Rather than somebody else saying something that gives him the idea, he looks around, sees another item, and then says, oh, here's how that item can make my whole shit work. He comes to that moment with his intellect. It has nothing to do with his wife saying something and then him being like, oh yeah, your words make sense, or with David's father being like, get up or you're going to catch a cold, and he has the idea to give it a virus, like a virus was a new thing in 1996 when computers were fairly new. Viruses have been around for a while, but you're talking about the guy who is the smartest guy, not in the movie, not in this circle of people, in the universe, the universe that they are building. He is the smartest guy, at bare minimum on the planet. How he has to trip and fall across the solution is not a good look. Now, that's not Pedro Pascal. I think that's bad writing. I think they could have written that whole thing better. But bottom line is his performance wasn't good. He's always a step behind everybody else. He has to trip and fall on the solution at the end. It's not good. Pedro Pascal didn't work at a lot of levels for me.
Well, I think part of the problem here, though, is they only took half of what Mr. Fantastic is from the comic book. They took genius science guy and they left leader of the team and the machismo, the backbone in order to do that. They left that behind. The version of Mr. Fantastic that they presented to us, compare this version to the 5 minutes that we get of John Krasinski. The Krasinski version, he is a traditional Mr. Fantastic. Yes, he's still a genius, and I understand it's a small sample size to measure from. But just within proper MCU,
He didn't show any sort of intelligence in that movie. He wasn't smart enough to realize he was going to get fucking spaghettified. But
right? Well, you're telling the bad guy exactly how to defeat you. Yeah, that's retarded too. But what Pedro's version here is, he's only half the character he should be. He's not a leader. And it's very troubling for me to hear that, in Avengers Doomsday, Mr. Fantastic is the leader of the Avengers, which actually means
he's the leader of the Avengers. Who even is that anymore?
Sue Storm will be the leader of the Avengers because Pedro's not a leader. This is the male feminist version of Mr. Fantastic, and he's weak. Well, I'm sorry, that's just the way that it is.
I didn't want to go like this, but look who they picked. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think he doesn't work in the role.
I'm just saying. I mean, let's call a spade a spade.
It's probably his personal. It's probably his personal point of view that kind of helped, flatten the character out. You know what I mean?
I forbid a fucking character have any sort of fucking emotions or vulnerabilities, because Jesus Christ, man, the whole world's gonna.
No, I'm not saying you can't have emotions, but
bastard.
He needs to have the strength to be able to take this on and lead in what you were talking about. That's Sue Storm in this movie, not him.
And God forbid your wife be like your rock when you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Jesus.
No, it's not.
No, you have a literal rock.
I'm not saying
your best
that
friend is like a rock.
No, it's one thing for her. It's one thing for her to kind of keep him emotionally centered. I get
she didn't carry the whole goddamn Now we're acting like
if not for Sue Storm, they don't do any of this.
Yeah. Like I said, he tripped. Like I said, when I say he trips and falls in the solution, he does it because
the first cars are the only ones that would have actually stopped Galactus at least a little bit.
I'm not saying that she can't be his emotional center, his emotional North Star.
Right.
That's
great.
No,
apparently not. He's supposed to just have it all figured out.
No, when it comes to the intellectual stuff, fucking A right. Everything on that chalkboard is supposed to be way above her. She's not supposed to be looking at that chalkboard and be like, you didn't carry the one over here, and here's the solution of time travel. It's like she didn't go over there and do that. She made a speech not talking about anything that he needed to do to make this fucking whatever the hell transporter work. And all of a sudden he suddenly has this realization that he apparently wouldn't have had because he's not smart enough. He is the smartest person in Marvel, with maybe the exception of Shuri, Banner's up there, Stark's up there, but they've been saying for years now, even before when Fox still owned this and Fantastic Four wasn't even a dream of being part of the MCU, they have said forever that he is the smartest person in Marvel Comics, that he is the biggest brain. And like I said, this entire movie, he's a step behind everybody else. They just look at all the stuff that they built. But if that's what I'm saying, is the standard has been set that he is so smart that he built a rocket launch pad right off fucking the island of Manhattan. And that he's built all these great things around the world. They've solved world hunger. They've stopped war. He is apparently Jesus to whatever the hell universe they're in. The 828. Is that what they're in?
818.
But 818, yeah. He is apparently the biggest genius in 818.
No, was it 828? Because it's 616 and it's 828.
828.
Something like that.
Right.
It's one of those.
He's the smartest guy in 828, but he couldn't. Like I said, it would have been a better look.
He's just not right for the character. That's the bottom line.
And this is more about the writing rather than as Pedro Pascal.
Right.
It would have been a better look to me if they would have had him slowly come to the realization on his own, like he has the breakthrough, rather than Sue says something and he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's the piece I've been looking for." Well, it might work sometimes for some characters. It doesn't work for Reed Richards.
But widen this out a little bit. Sue Storm is the one that she's smart enough to get world peace through the Future Foundation. Sue does all of these things. Reed's just in the background. They made, all of the reports that came up. Right, but
you're talking about two different skill sets, though.
That's what I'm saying. She's
my point is,
he's the intellect, yeah.
they took the backbone and the machismo that I was talking about that Reed has. They gave that to Sue. This is a Sue Storm movie. I mean, there's no arguments about that. And I'm not even saying that's necessarily a bad thing. But they did do Mr. Fantastic dirty by limiting him to what they did and then casting Pedro to do it. Because, yeah, I mean, he's a safe pick for Disney. He's right up their wheelhouse, and the people love him that like this Disney stuff. So I see why they picked him. He's just not right for the role.
No, I think they're both intellectuals. I just think they're different skill sets. Like he can build a trans whatever morphing bridge to fucking Terabithia, whatever the hell he's doing. Whereas her skill set, while she's intellectual, her skill set is the dialogue, the political gamesmanship, the negotiating, more of the people stuff. The administrative stuff is her skill set, whereas his skill set is different. They're both intellectual, but they just have different skill sets. Like I have a skill set to do what I do. Jeremy has a skill set to do makeup and stuff like that. I don't have Jeremy's skill set. We're both smart, but I don't know it. But I can't do what Jeremy does the way Jeremy does it. I could try. True. I could try, but it wouldn't look the same. It would look like a 6-year-old did it, and that wouldn't be good. It's great if I was 6 years old, but it's not great if I'm trying to like make a movie out of it or do a haunted cave attraction or something like that. It wouldn't be up to par. But moving on now from the cast, we talked a lot about the cast. Let's talk about the plot. Let's try not to drag out too long on this one since we kind of did the cast a little bit longer. Let's talk about the plot of the movie. I'll go to you first, Jeremy. What do you think of the plot of the film? Did it work for you, or is there anything you'd have changed?
It kind of feels like like something you might read in like an issue or so of like a comic book. So kind of interesting. It did feel like it kind of like didn't do a whole lot of it did a little bit of justice to like Silver Surfer there. It gave her a little bit of a backstory. I mean, not that we need much more from someone who's just like, yeah, I'm going to devour planets. I'm like, well, okay, I get your MO, I guess. I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Galactus. I mean, but I'm hoping that maybe that, like I said, is not the end of him. He might come back around, but I know our thing is, we want to do, Doom, which in comparison to the two of them, I'm like, I mean, yeah, Doom is probably a little bit more of an issue, maybe more so than Galactus. I mean, yeah, eating plants is one thing, but when you basically become like god of an entire multiverse, that's also kind of an issue. Yeah, I'm like, I'm wondering if that's where we're going, and I kind of hope so, because that would be really cool to see. Yeah, I like that this one didn't do the we had to see Batman's parents die for the 874th time. Like, we get it. They went to space, got their powers. Cool. Let's move. You don't need a whole lot of that. We get it. We've seen it. Everyone leaves out that god awful from the 90s. I'm like, this is not like the third time. This is like the fourth or fifth time we've done the Fantastic Four. So,
I've seen the Roger Corman one. It's rough.
It's something. It's something. But I think they didn't spend a whole lot of time on that. It's like, you get it. We see them display their powers. It's easy to follow, to understand. And yeah, even though the plot is basically from SpongeBob, where we're gonna take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. I was like, holy crap! Well, that's cool. I'm like, I just hear Patrick in like the back of my head, like, we're gonna take Bikini Bottom and put it somewhere else. I'm like,
but an egg is just like the Earth, Jeremy. We're basically an egg.
No, I was like, I get where they were going. I'm like, right, but how do you plan to do that? I mean, that's almost like it came out of Joseph Quinn's mouth part right after that. He's like, so how do we make that work, though? An egg compared to the size of the Earth, like, and again, it sounded like some comic booky MacGuffin BS that I'm just like, yeah, sure, you place these things all over the world and it somehow works, or doesn't, because the Silver Surfer's got to be a dick and just come and just wreck your whole party like T-minus like 3 seconds. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I'm one who likes to suspend disbelief because it's a comic book movie and we're already kind of in the fantasy territory, so whatever happens, I'm okay with. But I was like, over the course of what they say is about a month, they managed to build how many dozens of these giant
transporter.
Well, I think that was the point of, like, again, Sue Storm. It's like apparently everyone's kind of all on the same page here. I mean, I would hope so when your planet's going to get devoured.
Hey.
But I think that, again, it's a different world where they're all kind of like, okay, let's maybe do this real quick so we don't, get, in 3 seconds flat.
Just as long as everybody turns their lights off at the same exact time, guys, it'll work. Don't worry about it. The same exact time, or it doesn't work.
3 in the morning here, and it's like 2 in the afternoon over there. It's like, what?
Right? Yeah. Come on. What do you think?
I don't know. Tex, what do you think of the plot? Did it work for you? Is there anything you'd have changed?
Yeah, I would have put a lot more Thanos in this and have him fully developed and fully powered with the gamma rays that can shoot from his hands. Like, there's no reason why a true Galactus would have had 5 seconds worth of a problem with this Fantastic Four. He would have wiped them out in a heartbeat. Obviously, the self-preserver already touched on it. The whole gimmick of, we're going to build towers all over the world and do whatever. You ever heard of a DC comic, Crisis on Infinite Earths? That's literally one of the plot points from that as well, by the way, Marvel. I don't know if you realize that or not. A lot of dumb stuff like the Earth is an egg, yada yada, whatever. I know this was one of those movies that was supposed to, shut your brain off and just enjoy, but they try to throw as much science, I guess you want to say, in here. I don't know, whatever. I've got a good bit of issues with the plot here. I wanted more of what's it called? A Subterranea with Bowman. That was fantastic to see. Instead, because see, here's the problem with this plot. Galactus is the big bad. He's on top, right? So now, for everybody who complained about, in the DCEU, they went right to Batman versus Superman and had Doomsday. Well, Marvel just did the same exact thing. There are so many other Fantastic Four villains. We could have seen Mole Man. We could have seen Red Guardian. He was cut from this movie. We saw a couple of his apes, but we didn't see him. There are so many.
Red Ghost.
Or Red Ghost, yeah. There are so many other Fantastic Four villains that I thought should have been a better first movie, but everybody complained about, DC jumped right to Doomsday. Well, Marvel just jumped right to Galactus. So why aren't people hollering about this? Because a Mole Man movie would have been fantastic to see, with the whole Subterranea plot, and the buildings crashing through the, whatever. That would have been fun to watch. I would have really enjoyed that. But yeah, I've got a good bit of plot issues with this. Now, what I don't have issues with, like I said earlier, the whole Johnny Storm. Like I said, he had the hero's journey of this. Thought it was really cool. I would have liked to see more of Ben Grimm, thing, kind of struggling, with the depression of, am I human? Am I not? They kind of touched on it a little bit, but I wish we got more of the Thing. Maybe we get more of him in a sequel or something. But, just stuff like that.
I wonder if they're going to touch on that later on.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the Thing, because he's kind of the Raphael. If you want to use a Ninja Turtle thing here, he goes out in the hat and the coat.
I did that reference.
Right. He wants to be human. He used to be human, but every time he looks in the mirror, and that's the whole deal with the blind girlfriend. What's her name? Alicia Masters from the comics. Okay, I think that's her name. I can't remember. But that was like, which, by the way, they should have had Alicia, his blind girlfriend, in this movie, not the school teacher lady that didn't play as well. But they left a lot on the table here.
Yeah, I understand the plot. I feel like, as I was watching this, I was like, obviously they have more plans for the Fantastic Four. But I found myself a little confused when I was thinking about it towards the end of the movie, because they're going to be leaving, apparently, their universe, the 823 or whatever it is, to go to the 616, as evident by, again, the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts. I don't know if there's a plan on having.
I'm not even sure that's them in that shit, to be honest with you. I think that might be done.
That's feasible. That's logical. It's a possibility. But I felt like there was a lot of setup, but at the same time, I don't know what they're setting up because all the stuff that they were setting up, because we could get more of Subterranea, even though I think that they pretty much squashed any idea that they were going to be bad guys since they've, negotiated.
Oh, yeah. No, they killed that.
It's like, now, who was that in the post-credit scene? That we'll talk about that in more depth here in a minute.
I wonder.
We know who it was, but it's like their universe or the 616. How is that going to happen? Now, I don't think Galactus is done because he even says in the movie, he's like, we're going to send Galactus somewhere else. He's going to be trapped there without a ship, and it'll take him 1,000,000 years to get back. I don't think Galactus is just going to give up that easily and float through space and kind of stomp his feet on the ground, throw a temper tantrum, and be like, I'm going to take my space balls and go home. I don't think he's going to be like that. I feel like Galactus is going to come storming back, and then the question is, does he find his way to the 616 and become a big bad at the level of like a Thanos or what they wanted Kang to be, or something like, or maybe even a Doctor Doom or something like that? Is he gonna come back? Because I feel like we haven't seen the last of him. He's too good of a villain. He's too important of a character in the comics. He's a character with too much potential for them to use him in the third act of this movie and not to go back to him again. And Marvel's made that mistake a couple of times, and they've tried to rectify it over the last several years, like specifically with the stuff from the Incredible Hulk. I mean, with Blonsky and with the Leader. And they brought them back to try to finish them, but it wasn't the Blonsky thing was, She-Hulk was a fucking dumpster fire. I can't understand that show at all. And then they kind of did good with the Leader in the new Captain America, whatever the hell.
That was not the Leader. He looked horrible.
But he was cool, and he looked cool, and I like the character, but I'm like, it's not enough. I feel like he needs to be the bad guy that you have to really works the hero over. And like, as soon as he gets caught, he's like, meh, you caught me. And I'm like, come on, man, put up a fight, throw a punch, do something. Headbutt me with your giant brain. Do something that's going to drag this fight out between the good guy and the supervillain, because that's what we want to see. And he doesn't. So, I mean, maybe Marvel's setting it up to use him again in the future. I don't know. But as it stands right now, it's not, because he's in the raft with everybody else. So,
well,
I feel like there's a lot of setup.
The problem with that movie was like, no, Red Hulk. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't really do that either. So.
Yeah, you barely did that except for the last.
Red Hulk wasn't even originally in that movie. That was oh crap. We've had to redo this movie for the third time. Let's put Harrison Ford as Hulk in it. That wasn't even an original plan.
But also, one of the things I noticed, and again, going back to the post-credit scene from Thunderbolts, we did not see. A lot of people thought after Thunderbolts that whatever was going to happen in Fantastic Four was going to see the group leave their universe or whatever, either accidentally or on purpose.
That was going to happen,
and find their way.
I thought they were going to fail. Is what I thought.
That was a big theory that they couldn't save their world, and the only way they could do was run, so they bounced. And that was going to be a big plot point for them emotionally in Doomsday, is that they had to leave their world just to survive, but there was no saving it. But I kind of, at the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, they're all back in, the back. Did they even call it the Baxter Building? I don't even think they're referring to it as the Baxter Building.
Yeah, they did.
No, did they? I didn't even hear them refer to it as the Baxter Building.
They did it. It was more towards the beginning of the film, like, when they're showing, like, the news cameras are there, they call it the Baxter Building at least a time or two. They don't say it like 15 times, but they say it a handful.
Okay, I must have missed it. You're probably right, but it shows them living happily ever after 4 years later. Everything's cool. They've apparently rebuilt their entire city in 4 years, which I guess if you're smart enough to build a bunch of stuff, you can build an entire city back in 4 years. Yeah, you got flying powers. You're good.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
I know. Rebuilt the whole city in 4 years.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
But so I get it, but I still am left wondering, how are we going to see that happening? That's something that left me very curious. I didn't get a chance to watch the video. There was one that I put in my watch later on YouTube about the 10 burning questions that we had after Fantastic Four. I'm willing to bet that's one of them, because I was like, wait a minute, so they don't leave? Because I thought maybe the post-credit scene was going to show something, like it would show them out and about doing some space traveling or whatever, and they were going to run across this thing. They were going to get sucked into some vortex or whatever, and they were going to spit out, and then you were going to see like the sword that the place where
the ship in the sky,
yeah, the place where Sam Jackson's hanging out now with the Kree and the Skrull and all that. That they were you were gonna see them in the background, and you might see him being like, what the hell is that? You know, go get those motherfuckers. And
you just see Nick Fury, he's like, who are these motherfuckers?
Who are these motherfuckers?
Right.
He's walking by with his towel on, getting ready to go back to this little holodeck thing at the beach. He's like, who are these mother? And then it's going to cut off because it's a Disney movie. You can't say fucking a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it'd be something like that, but it didn't. And I was really kind of blown away about that. It's really odd. But you know,
like you said, we don't even know what this Doom, like where he came from, which world is he from. We're like,
well,
it hasn't really been established anywhere. We're just like, he just shows up, and I was like, oh. That maybe that's why, because it just said like, oh, the Fantastic Four will return in Doomsday. I'm like, we still have to get there, and you didn't get there, so you better explain that.
The only shot you get in this one, you get an empty chair in the Future Foundation where it says Latveria, and then at the end you see him from the back. That's all you get.
Twice you see the chair that says Latveria, and it was empty. I was like,
oh.
I see.
You're like, I get that reference. I get that reference.
I know I understood that reference. I'm sitting there like Leonardo DiCaprio, like, oh, I saw it. I saw the empty Latveria chair. I'm like, no, wait a minute, now where is he? So unless he is that world's Victor Von Doom, I mean, I don't know.
That leads into the significant mid-credit scene, not the post-credit scene, which is kind of goofy, I thought, and I wouldn't even bother talking about it. But that leads into the next topic, the post-credit scene. Obviously, we know that Doctor Doom is coming. We know who's playing him. We know all this stuff. One of the big questions was, is he going to be in this film? There was a lot of arguments back and forth. Yes, he will. No, he won't. How do you have the Fantastic Four and not have Doctor Doom? So he kind of has to be. All you really get is the back of his hooded head in a post-credit scene, talking to the 4-year-old Franklin Richards. You obviously see the mask in his hand. Again, that leads me to the big question. I'll ask you first, Tex. What do you think of the scene overall? And do you think that was their universe's Doctor Doom, or are we going to get a different Doctor Doom in the 616 when Doomsday happens? What do you think of that scene, and who do you think that we saw?
Yeah, the scene in and of itself wasn't bad if you just look at it in a vacuum. But considering that is the only lead up to an Avengers Doomsday, we need a little more context here, I think. Now, I do believe that the Doctor Doom that we see in this film is from this universe. Like I mentioned a minute ago, the whole empty little Latverian chair. Mm-hmm. I think they were alluding to that. I don't think it's a 616, Doctor Doom. I think we're going to find out in the opening of Avengers Doomsday is Doctor Doom steals Franklin, hops in the Fantastic Four jet, whatever they call it, and he flies to this universe, and he wants to become, like Jeremy was talking about, Emperor Doom a minute ago, and the Fantastic Four have to, lead the charge, because I'm assuming if this is like a 4-year time jump or whatever it is, maybe they've seen Doom before. At least they know about him. I mean, because if he's already fully costumed, this is a fully developed world. I think it's fair to assume that this is not their first encounter, considering, the chair and everything else. So, considering it's like
4 years, so maybe.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a big time jump of stuff that could have happened. Have they encountered Doom before? You would think, with the way Sue reacts, she knows who she's looking at, because she doesn't scream, "Oh my God, who are you?" Like I said, the thing in and of itself is fine. It's just kind of weak considering what it's leading to. And there's no more Marvel films, well, not counting the Spider-Man movie, that's supposed to be a ground level movie from what I've read. So that's not going to have a lot of Doom stuff in it.
It also came out in the last couple of days that the new Spider-Man movie is going to take place a year before the events of Doomsday.
Right. So apparently that's going to have Punisher and Hulk and stuff
going on. I'm like, guys, you need to say something like now.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is the coldest, this is the weakest and the coldest lead up to an Avengers level movie that we've ever seen. We don't even really know who the Avengers are. Like, nobody could give me Like, you can't define the team. Thor's over here off world somewhere. God knows where Doctor Strange is. You've got fake Captain America, the fake Avengers, suing each other. Marvel's in a mess, and if this is how you lead into Doomsday, it's not going to go well, I don't think.
And with the other 150 characters you're going to put into this movie, like with all the original Fox mutants and all this other shit, I'm like,
right. It's going to be a cameo fest of, you're going to get one line and then you die. That's what that's going to be, basically.
I mean, because like the only thing I could think of with like Tom Hiddleston being there, I was like, that'd be a kind of funny thing. Like if we are doing Emperor Doom, where he is going across the multiverses here, I'm like, well, who controls the timelines right now? Is Loki? And if he just sees this guy come across here, it's like they're going to have words. I'm pretty sure at some point.
Well, they have to.
Because that'll be funny because Loki will look at him and be like, Stark? What the? He's like confused. Like, wait a minute, you're not who you're supposed to be.
I have a feeling Doomsday is going to have like 3 or 4 scenes like that where somebody will look at him and be like, Tony. And because you can't unless he takes his mask off in front of all of them at the same time, and you have that kind of one moment of guffaw. But I would imagine
you're not going to have Robert Downey Jr. and not use him and have his fate. Like, come on, you're going to do. Yeah. They're going to do it.
Yeah, but we'll see what they get there.
Well, from what I have read, apparently RDJ will be heavily maked up and looking a lot different than what Stark did in every other Marvel film. He's going to look older. I don't know. Apparently, a lot of prosthetics and makeup were done to him. Hopefully,
maybe that's one of the reasons why they didn't show his face at the post-credit scene of this movie, because they don't want to give away what he's going to look like.
Obviously, with Franklin touching his face, I mean, we just saw he brought his mother back to life. It's a thing, and I forget which comic run it was, but Franklin can he's a god. Which, by the way, the Franklin Richards problem. That's the biggest MacGuffin now, because no stakes matter in the MCU anymore because, Franklin can fix it. No worries. Poof, it's done.
And Sentry. Remember, Sentry is essentially Superman. So
yeah. I mean, there's no more stakes. I mean, not only we have MacGuffins upon MacGuffins with there's multiverses, and we have God Kid over here who can fix and replace anybody. So there you go.
And then you've got the one girl from Secret Wars.
Who
apparently has the powers of all the Avengers.
Scroll, yeah.
Who apparently she's just floating around on Earth somewhere. But whatever, we're never going to come across her again.
You better hope not.
Good luck, Disney.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know. Again, your thoughts on the post-credit scene. Who did we see, and what do you think of the scene overall?
Well, clearly Dr. Doom. I was not sure if that was going to happen at all. Like I said, like Tex said, as I forgot to mention that earlier. I'm like, I noticed that twice. There was a little Latveria sign, and one was Latveria with an empty chair, and I was like, that means something. There's no Victor Von Doom right there, so that could be an issue. Like, I know that's what we're leading towards. Yeah, like you said, she seemed. I mean, when we start this movie, they're already 4 years into being the Fantastic Four, so now you're 8 years deep, right? Now you're at the end of this thing. She doesn't. I mean, she does have that calm, collected. Like, she just turns around and just like gets her hand ready. Like, hold on, what the hell is going on? Like, something's off. Her spider senses are tingling. She's like, wait a minute. And as soon as it pans over and I didn't see that green hood, I was like, motherfucker! Whoa, hold on. We just put Doom. And it cuts to black. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Like I said, we're not still explaining why they left their universe and came to the so-called sacred timeline. And also, like, well, I know we're building up Doom, but I don't know what else we're going to do to build it up. Because if we're just going to go right to Doomsday, I'm like, okay, like we said, don't do that, guys. Don't make a Justice League movie and then start trying to do other stuff. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to have this build up with like 200 characters in a movie. I know we know them. We've seen them before, but I'm assuming it's that world's Doctor Doom because like the end of the chair was kind of the tell. Yeah, it's got to be. I don't know who else, that would explain that. So that's going to be a plot point moving forward. Him trying to get, not only Galactus, but like, now Doom's trying to get the powers of this god baby because that's kind of his key to, becoming emperor. So
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to. I really do think at the Doom that we saw the back of his head in the post credit scene, I think that's the Doom that we're going to be getting in Doomsday. Because if we think about it, for as smart as Reed Richards is, Victor Von Doom is also very, very smart in his own right.
Yes.
So I don't think he would have much trouble following Reed Richards to wherever he's going. Apparently he ends up in the 616. Again, given what we saw in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. So I don't imagine he's that. And Tex has already said maybe that's him on that ship at the end of Thunderbolts. That's a possibility. Perfectly logical explanation for that scene. Could be the case. But again, we just don't know. And like Diane says in the chat, who do we think Fantastic Four is going for at the end of Thunderbolts? We don't know, because they never said they were going for the Thunderbolts. They didn't leave the end of this movie to begin with. So that's kind of one of the questions I have. So how did they get here, and why are they journeying? Are they journeying there on purpose? Are they journeying there by accident? Who the hell knows? But I thought it was interesting. I really do think though that's going to be the Victor Von Doom that we get from that we're going to get in the 616. The other thing that also occurs to me as you guys were talking about it is, with all the work that Sue Storm has done talking to these other countries, the Von Doom family are essentially the monarchs of Latveria.
They're the royal family of Latveria.
They're the sovereign of Latveria. So she would have to at least know the Von Doom family or a representative of that government, of that monarchy. Right. So true. I find it hard to believe that she would not. Maybe he was a Von Doom that was hiding, somebody who didn't get talked about, not part of the family business. It's possible. It's possible. It depends on how they write it. You're one line of dialogue away from explaining anything I say. But I have a feeling that she probably knows, and that maybe she had. I can't remember. She didn't key in on that empty Latveria seat at any point, did she? Because I felt I only got a chance.
No, they show it twice in passing. Is all that they do.
Yeah, we saw it, but
we saw it. Yeah. The first time they show it. The first time they show it, it's in like a shot that kind of spans, kind of slow over so you can clearly see. Then the second time they show it to you quicker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that she probably has an idea who he is, and that's why, like you said earlier, that we didn't see the panic reaction. Now, maybe she didn't know who he was with the hood on. I would imagine what we're going to get next time we see this scene is we're going to get, if we get the scene again, is we're going to see an extension of that post-credit scene where he whips the hood off, turns around and talks to her. We might get an extension of that scene at some point in the future, but I don't know how you would work that in if the next time you're going to see any of these characters are going to be Doomsday. It would happen to happen at the beginning of Doomsday. Now, maybe cause every now and again, Marvel will do these not pre-scenes, but the opening sequence of the movie, they will play out a full scene, like a cold open. Maybe that will be the cold open, and then you'll see them leaving or whatever, or him stealing Franklin Richards and taking off in the rocket or whatever, something like that. But I don't know.
Dude, wouldn't it have been baller if she walked up, we still saw that same, he's hooded, and then you do a shot upwards of you see Sue. You don't see him still, but you just see the hood come off. He just looks at her and says, "Hello, Sue." It just fucking cuts to black, and she's like,
or
they
know each other. She walks in and says "Doom," and that's how they end the movie. That could have been fun or something. But here's the problem. But here's the biggest issue. Assuming there's no more delays, we're not getting Doomsday until December of next year. That's a long time to wait, built on nothing. That's what I'm saying.
And there's no other Marvel movie between.
There is no other project, like I said, not counting Spider-Man, that technically it's an MCU movie, but it's more Sony than anything. That's not going to deal with this. That's going to be its own thing. We're not getting another MCU thing until
next. You're going to make an announcement.
Yeah, basically a year and a half of nothing built on one 30-second scene. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, the next thing we're going to get is it's all animated. Eyes of Wakanda is coming out in August. Marvel Zombies in October. That's kind of cool. Wonder Man is going to come out in December. And then
who cares about Wonder
Man? Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out, but that's Sony. Spider-Noir is Sony. Spider-Woman is Sony. Then we're getting more animated stuff. X-Men 97 season 2 is coming out.
I thought Sony shut down the non-Spider-Man movie.
No, they're filming a new one right now.
No, they're still, yeah.
So we're not getting
What?
another one until Armor Wars, which is supposed to come out. This has got to be old. This has got to be an old.
That movie's been
doing
supposed to
Armor
come out for 10 years, though. That's never coming out. That ain't never happened.
We should probably be doing like Secret Wars before we start doing anything like, shit like that.
I sense a reboot coming. I'm strong in the force here. That's all I'm saying. But
I think someone else brought up a good point about like Deadpool. I'm like, Deadpool's kind of like in the TVA now, right? He has a freaking temp pad. I'm like, he could kind of again be that meta character to kind of play with stuff. It'd be bopping in and out of universes and whatnot.
What world designation was it? Deadpool and Wolverine that they ended up saving because they brought Wolverine to that world. Do y'all remember what number that was? Because I don't.
Wait.
I don't remember either, but I don't think it
And
really
Deadpool
matters.
and Wolverine.
The one that he brought him to.
Yeah, the one that he brought him to, and they saved the world from Professor X's.
Yeah, wasn't that Wade's world? So what was Wade's? Right? Which?
Yeah, I don't
was
remember.
he in?
Technically, that was the Fox X-Men world. Like from those movies.
Right.
Yeah,
because he
right-
did go into
right
the
now-
house and he saw
right
them
now
in
the
the
next-
mansion.
Yeah, right now the
Yeah.
next scheduled movie is Doomsday in May of 2026.
There's got to be
Yeah.
more. No way.
I think this
Yeah,
is
no,
old
they're-
enough too. I think they moved Doomsday. So the next one coming out is going to be Spider-Man in July of next
Well, that's
year.
what I'm saying. I mean, we already know that they don't even have a finished script for Avengers Doomsday going into it while they're working, which projects like that always get delayed 2 or 3 times. We've already been pushed back at least once that I can remember, maybe twice. If
And
this
then
thing gets
Secret
put,
Wars in May of 2027, which is probably that's already been pushed back too. And then Armor Wars is lost. its
well,
release date.
yeah, if it because they're not going to do Secret Wars until they do Doomsday. So there's not another MCU, proper film for a year and a half, and that's best case scenario. That's assuming that they don't have to put it off for another 3 months and move it to summer of 2028, or whatever.
Who are you gonna do Armor Wars with? Friggin' Reby Williams? I don't think so.
I think
Well,
John Cheadle was supposed to kind of lead that, but they ended up pushing it back because
I
they're
feel
going
like
to
it
make
needs
it
to
a
be
TV show. They
John
want to make a
Cheadle,
movie.
That's not even the
But
real
whatever.
roadie, though. We know that. We learned that already.
It's
I
not
mean,
even the real
Marvel's
Bruce
a
Banner
mess.
either. Like, come on.
Right. I mean,
It's not even the same Bruce Banner.
technically, roadie hasn't been roadie since,
That's what I'm saying.
Civil
Since like
War?
friggin' what?
was it Civil War, I
Yeah,
think?
maybe.
So, I mean, technically, the real roadie's tied up in some Eastern European country in the scroll base, just
Not anymore.
hanging out.
Not anymore. They saved him. They got him out.
Did they get him out? I don't
Yeah, they
remember
got
them
him
getting him out.
They got him out.
Did they?
Didn't we say that might have been a theory that like Rhodey's been a scroll? Because I'm like, this can't be.
Well, people have been
Yeah.
saying that, and I think Marvel made him a scroll because people said it so much, kind of like the whole John Krasinski thing. We kind of spoke that into existence.
Whatever. I didn't like anything a whole lot about that series anyway, so I'm kind of putting it out of my mind. All I know is
Either way,
the real Rhodey is
Marvel's
here,
in
and
a
that's I'm
mess.
going with it.
Oh, Secret Invasion. I think I watched like the 2 episodes of Secret Invasion and I gave up. I don't know.
I watched
it
like
was
2
not great.
episodes, and then I did what Jeremy was talking about earlier, and I just watched the YouTube videos because I didn't care.
the breakdown. The breakdown.
I just
like
watched
said,
the
I was
breakdown.
like, wait.
I was out.
I'm like, wait, why
Right.
is Khaleesi a fucking like mutant super like iron?
Right. I can spend 5 minutes
Cracks.
getting the cliff notes, as Jeremy so eloquently put it earlier,
Yeah.
or 3 hours on something I don't care about.
So I saw that. I'm like, is this one of those things where I'm like, okay, but are we going to explain that? Like,
Well, oh,
I
dude,
feel like it's one of
hang
those
on,
things
wait.
Not
You're
part of the
actually
damn-
going to hold Disney Marvel accountable for the mountain of leftover plot lines that they never. Where's the Black Knight? Where's Blake? Where's all of these? So many things that they just threw
Like you
out
said
there.
with
We
Doctor-
never saw it.
Like you see with Doctor Strange, I'm like, well, he apparently found his god awful CGI third eye, and did the fucking portal with Charlie Theron, and we never saw him again. So I'm like,
yeah, Charlie's there and shows up, and Doctor Strange goes all body horror on us, and we don't see him.
Those things though are still very recent. I mean, we had to wait 13 years to see Blonsky back as the Abomination. We had to wait 14 or 15 years,
and it was an abomination what they did.
Finally, we had to wait 14 or 15 years to see them finally address Dr. Stearns becoming the leader. It's not like we're having to wait a decade and a half.
Like I said,
this is the very recent history of Marvel. It does take time to build some of these things. Now, if it takes another 10 or 15 years, I'll be annoyed.
But that's my whole point. I don't think Marvel's going to
explain the Celestial. Like, Jesus.
They finally did.
I don't think Marvel's going to explain anything. They're going to do Doomsday and Secret Wars and then reboot, and so they don't have to explain shit to nobody because it doesn't exist anymore. I think that's what they do.
Feige did say a reboot is not out of the realm of possibility.
He was talking the other day.
I think we just need to give Thanos a desk job. He's going to open his desk. Some guy moved out and left his paperweights behind. He's going to be like,
no.
Interesting.
I know how we fix this, and we can do it for cheap, Disney. Jeremy, you're going to like this. About like halfway through the credits of Secret Wars or whatever, the movie's wrapped up, whatever. You see Loki just kind of screen wipe the whole thing. He shows up. He's like, okay, hey, it's got a trick here. Poof, none of this is real anymore. We'll see you in 2 more years. Walk away to a completely new universe. He's the god of time. He's the god of stories.
There with the timelines in his hands. He can just be like,
he just wiped it. Literally, that's all. You don't have to create any of that. That's literally all you got to do, dude. It's not that hard.
I'm like, you basically now have Loki being like at the end of time and space, like controlling it. So I'm like, well, okay, that's pretty overpowered. That brings on some implications.
Like I said, you're one line of dialogue away from fixing it. All you got to do is one post-credit scene where Loki's sitting there holding the tree, looks up and goes, oh, no, this one sucks. Trim this.
Or even better, we see Loki sitting in that green room with all the tree timelines, right? And he's like looking up, staring at a screen, watching the events happen. He's like, I'm bored with this. And he just cuts that timeline, and we're just left to a new one in 2 more years or something. Like something along those lines.
Like Paradox did mention, like when he was talking to Deadpool, he's like, oh yeah, but management doesn't like to do that anymore. I'm like, are you talking about Loki? Or
my God. And Deadpool, we need a Deadpool. Like, I'm not a big Loki guy. I know that's your realm. We need a Deadpool and Loki face to face for a good 5 to 10 minutes in one of these movies.
Maybe we'll figure out why Thor was crying. I don't know. Maybe that's
right. Like, why was Thor crying while he helped me? And Loki's like, oh my God, this guy again. But I will say, bring back asshole heel Loki. I don't like the soft good guy version. I like the dick version of Loki. That's a much better version of Loki. Whatever.
Let's President Loki. Goddamn
it. Let's get on to some trivia now. We went a little bit later on this than I thought we would. I guess I should have figured we were going to go a lot later on this. But anyway.
We had to spend 20 minutes talking shit about Pedro. It's
we did. Right. That was a moral imperative. Yes, it was. First bit of trivia. Shala Ball was created by Stan Lee and John Buscema for the first Silver Surfer comic book series. Its premiere issue being released in August of 1968. In the mainstream comic, she is depicted as the love interest of Norrin Rad, the original Silver Surfer. Rad's version of the Silver Surfer is the first one to appear in live action in Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007.
Yeah.
She's got OG status.
I like that movie.
I wonder why they didn't have, because they had that scene of her walking along the beach with her kid. I wonder why they didn't have a guy who is her husband walking next to her.
Suggested it was Norrin Rad.
So that way we can look and be like, hey, that's Norrin Rad. So maybe we're going to see more than one, or maybe he's going to take over. Maybe there's some potential for the future of that. That would have been an interesting visual. I mean, it didn't have to amount to anything, but it would have been interesting visuals.
I don't know, like I said, I'm fine with there being a female Silver Surfer, whatever. But give me the classic version. At least I understand, variants, whatever. Just give me Norrin Rad, please. Thank you. I'm not asking for that.
Let's see. I could not find a picture of it, but all four actors. Oh, I'm picking the wrong thing. Damn it! Going the wrong thing. All key actors from the Fantastic Four, a movie that did not end up getting released. It was made by why am I drawing a blank in the name?
Roger Corman.
Roger Corman. The Roger Corman one that never got released. Actually have cameos in this movie in two different scenes, including Alex Hyde White, who played Reed Richards, Jay Underwood, who played Johnny Storm, Rebecca Staub, who played Sue Storm, and Michael Bailey, who played Ben Grimm, were all in. Actually, I think there were two different scenes in this movie as different characters, as I recall. But yes, they were the reporters. That's the one where they were on screen the most.
Yeah. That was cool.
Well, that was cool that obviously famously Corman only made that movie to basically hold on to rights. It did end up releasing it. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere out there on the internet. I've seen it before. It's not great. Like it.
You can find a couple clips on YouTube somewhere. I think.
I love Roger Corman films. Humanoids. So many Roger Corman movies I love. King of the B movies, as he was. That was his title. But that his version of Fantastic Four. Now the costumes looked great. His version of Ben Grimm thing looked really, really good for especially being in the 90s and whatever. But, it was cool to see them on the big screen, knowing they were there. Kind of like how we got Christopher Reeve's son in Superman 25. We got the original Fantastic Four in this one. So, nostalgia.
Yeah, there are several points throughout the movie where science can be seen for a company called Timely Comics. This, of course, was the original name of Marvel Comics.
Yeah,
nice.
I think
Kirby was cool in this movie.
I think early on
there was a billboard in the background somewhere where it says Stanley's. I'm like, nah. I see what you did.
Well, also those two guys that look out the window. I think it was early in the movie as shit's starting to pop off. That was supposedly 60s Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, because when the camera switches and you're seeing it from behind them, you see a lot of the original art, concept art for what would become comic book covers, and then you had the Timely Comics logo right by the window. So so the way I heard it when somebody was talking about it on a YouTube video was that was supposed to be a depiction of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
That's cool.
Younger guys in their 60s getting their
comics started. Stan Lee, he, whether you believe it or not, he did rip off a lot of people's work and get credit for a lot of stuff that other people did, including Jack Kirby. So I thought it was really cool for Jack Kirby to get his nod, especially at the end of this film, the way that they did. And everything else. The little nods and everything, it's so many of these old, whether it's Superman, Batman, so many of the original creators don't get the recognition that they should. And, Jack, the look of this film was straight up Jack Kirby. Just like Jeremy said, the eyebrow on the thing was amazing.
Yes.
Looked
it does
incredible.
Wonders,
perfect. That looked perfect the way that looked.
There's this old saying out there, you can agree with it or not, that says good writers steal a little bit, great writers steal everything.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not shitting on Stan Lee. Now some will, but there's nothing original under the sun anymore. That it's not a thing.
No.
But
look,
it's just a criticism of Stan Lee.
It's the same thing. Like when I say people are always like, oh, they're always remaking the same movies. I'm like, there's only 4 basic movie plot lines. It's all in the presentation,
right?
So whatever.
Yes.
You like this version of this plot line. You don't like that version of the plot line. It's all the presentation. But we'll go back to Kirby for this one. I don't know if you guys realize or not, this was the first live action appearance of Herbie, although this was not the first one filmed. He actually did film there. They did film scenes with Herbie for the 2005 Fantastic Four film, but those scenes were eventually cut. I wish I had some kind of visual as to what those scenes look like, because I'd be curious.
When I went to see this the first time, AMC had the Herbie popcorn bucket, candy container, and drink container all in one. That thing was huge. It was as tall as the Galactus bucket was, but it was like $80. I was like, I want this. It even had like a button where you push and the eye lit up, and it had the Fantastic Four project on the wall, and another button would play the score for this film. But I'm like, I can't justify $80 for this. This is just too much.
Herbie's the.
I did not like
little
this movie
marketing
enough
thing,
to buy it.
you know.
Yeah, just too much.
I was like,
Yeah,
can we talk
Herbie was
about the
cool, though.
friggin', like the score for this movie, the theme for the Fantastic Four? I thought that was awesome.
Michael
Oh, very
Giacchino,
cool.
baby.
Yeah.
Michael
That
Giacchino.
dude, when that thing hits,
Yeah.
I'm like, that is a heroic theme if I've ever heard one.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was awesome.
Oh, yeah. No, that you could lay that over in like a 90s, cartoon for a superhero show, and it fits perfect. Like, it fits that old kind of art. I love
The music was
the
good.
score that this movie, like the music and the score, it was just so good.
Let's see. My next piece of trivia says, let's see, Pedro Pascal, for whatever, dropped out of doing the movie Weapons to work on this movie, which I know is a movie that you've been talking up a lot lately, Tex.
Oh, I cannot wait for Weapons, dude. It looks so good. It comes out
And
my
then you're
birthday
going to have
time.
to see Shalabal again.
Well, at least
she's
you
not
won't
going to be
be
painted
the
silver.
at least you won't be the
That's
fake
right.
Silver Surfer, so I reckon I'll be okay with it. And hey, technically, I do. Just for the record, I do like her as an actress. She was great in the Ozark show on Netflix. She played kind of the white trash, girl on the show, whatever. Very tremendous show. Last season wasn't great, but the first couple were really, really good.
Let's see. Here's one for you,
Doesn't
Jay.
that movie also have Thanos in it? I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was like, wait, isn't that also Josh Brolin in there?
Josh Brolin is in Weapons. He plays one of the parents in the film now.
So
Yeah,
we
I-
have Thanos and Silver Surfer. That's hilarious.
Hey. Let's see. Here's one for you, Jay. Joseph Quinn actually wore a blonde wig for his role as Johnny Storm. He actually shaved his head for his role in the film Warfare, which is coming out soon. And they decided just to go with the wig.
He kind of has two hairstyles in this movie. If you look in the footage of him going to space for the first time, the hair is longer than in the rest of the film. He looks different.
It looks like in this shot, his hair is longer than it is in this shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe it's just because he's
more.
floating around space. Maybe his hair is going to have a little more body. I don't know anything about hair, obviously. But it looks longer right there, too. But it looks shorter.
Yeah, he kind of has a couple different looks in this movie. But then again, this film does take place over him. I mean, hell, Thang had enough time to grow a Duck Dynasty beard, so who knows?
Well, and I hate to break everyone's heart, but that is also a wig on Eddie Munson. So I mean, whatever,
True.
he can still do that when he inevitably
True.
comes back in season 5, because goddamn it, he has to.
Now, there was one line I was hoping that would have been in this movie just as an Easter egg for Joseph Quinn, but when they're talking about like, oh, well, what can we do? And, like, oh, well, we'll just move the Earth and have John say like, what, upside down or something? They should have done something like that. That would have been great. But
That would have been a fun little Easter egg. But yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Just have it. Don't call it the upside down, because then it's on the nose. But do something like that.
You know what I did notice though? Like, there's that scene of him, like, when Eddie Munson's like sitting on the couch, he's like drinking a yoo-hoo and just like eating, just raw dogging a box of cereal. I'm like, Eddie, he did that a lot in this movie, dude. He had a box of cereal just eating it and munching away. I was like, there's a little bit of Eddie right there. And there was a glass of yoo-hoo in one of those like fridges, but I was like, yeah, that might be the joke, because he's constantly just munching on a box of fucking cereal.
True.
Like Eddie Munson does.
Now we can get into the potential casting stuff. There was some really interesting stuff that I thought about who could have been in this movie. Paul Mescal actually turned down the chance to play Johnny Storm, the role that would eventually go to Gladiators 2 co-star Joseph Quinn.
Paul Mescal wouldn't have done a good Johnny Storm.
I think Paul Mescal would have been a better Reed Richards.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
He's got the look. He's got a little bit of the swagger. I would look at him and believe that he's a super smart guy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. That could have worked out.
I've been down with that.
Let's see. Another one. All the names that could have been Galactus. Let's see.
Oh, God.
Let me hit you with some of these names. Liam Neeson, Mark Strong, David Morrissey, Javier Bardem, and Antonio Banderas were all eyed to play the role of Galactus.
I don't think Antonio Banderas. No.
Do y'all think Galactus looks like
the governor from Walking Dead? Holy crap, that would have been insane. I've been okay with that.
Shit. I don't know. I'm looking at these and I'm like, Liam Neeson, I think he can do anything. Mark Strong would have been interesting. David Morrissey.
I still want Mark Strong to go back and play Sinestro again. I liked his Sinestro.
I do like. I don't really like as much as I love Antonio Banderas. We're Mexican and all, but I don't I don't love the idea of him in the role. But the one that's got me thinking it would have been pretty cool is Javier Bardem. I think that could have been cool.
Javier Bardem he was so good. Obviously, No Country for Old Men. Another great film from Javier Bardem this summer was F1. I know Frank, didn't you see F1, Frank?
Which one?
F1.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Javier Bardem, I thought he was really good in that too. Playing team owner.
He's a good actor and everything. He's good.
Yeah, he's a solid actor. He could have been cool. Now, I would have only casted him as Galactus if he used the same voice and tone from No Country for Old Men. That that could have, do you have a coin? Blah blah blah, all the things. That would have been fun.
I can't see that. I can't even think of that movie anymore without seeing the Family Guy cutaway when they're talking about Javier Bardem in that movie. I want it long and short.
Have y'all reviewed No Country for Old Men yet?
I don't believe so. No.
That's another one we should put on the list because that's a really
we should. Let's talk about the people that could have played Sue Storm. It was another long list of very interesting names: Amanda Seyfried, Bryce Dallas Howard, Margot Robbie, Emma Stone, Megan Fox. God no, not Megan Fox. Brooklyn Decker and Kristen Bell were all considered for the role of Sue Storm.
Oh boy,
I don't. I like Amanda Seyfried. Going all the way back to going all the way back to Big Love. I like Amanda Seyfried. I don't think she would have been believable as Pedro Pascal's wife. Dallas Bryce Howard, I think could have been because I just love her.
I think she could do it.
I think she could have brought a lot to the role, similar to what we ended up getting. Margot Robbie, I don't know. I have trouble seeing her not seeing Harley Quinn now. She's a good actress. I've seen her in other things that she's been good in. I still to this day have not seen Barbie. I just don't want to. I don't really care anything about the movie. I'm not saying Snyder should. But I still can't look at her without seeing Harley Quinn. Emma Stone, again, kind of like Amanda.
Emma Stone. No.
Kind of like Amanda.
As much as I love Emma Stone, no.
I don't see her playing a wife to 112-year-old Pedro Pascal. That would just look weird.
No.
Megan Fox, no. I'm done with Megan Fox. I was over her after the second Transformers movie. Brooklyn Decker, maybe. Kristen Bell, maybe.
I'd love to see Brooklyn Decker in the invisible suit. I'll say that. Acting wise, it's been a long time since I've seen a Brooklyn Decker film. Like as much as I love Margot Robbie, I could not see her playing Invisible Woman. She will forever be Harley Quinn. Like that, she is perfect for that one. Bryce Dallas Howard. She was the broad in the Jurassic World movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't see her in this one either.
I was gonna wait a minute. Now we already saw a blonde Bryce Dallas Howard in Spider-Man 3. You're telling me she couldn't pull it off?
Brooklyn
I'm
Decker's
not a big fan of her.
Jerry Brooklyn Decker's from Kettering.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's like 20 minutes from where we live.
Out of any of the Amanda Seyfried would have been. I think she could have played the role well,
so you take that for what you fucking will. You know what I mean?
But I agree. Amanda Seyfried, she doesn't pair well with old, Mr. Pedro over here. But then again, hey, I wouldn't have had him in this movie neither. So whatever.
The people that could have played Reed Richards, it's actually a pretty long line of potentially good actors. Oh, yeah, I haven't used that picture a lot. Let's see. Milo Ventimiglia would have been interesting. Adam Driver, I know there was some fan casting about him too, but I wasn't really with it. Jake Gyllenhaal, Matt Smith, Dev Patel, Penn Bagley, and Zach Levi were all considered for the role of Reed Richards.
Jake Gyllenhaal would have been really good. I could have seen Jake Gyllenhaal.
Cool.
I don't know. Milo Ventimiglia, I would have to see him on screen to really to really figure him out. My gut tells me no, but he did do. I don't know. I don't know about that. Adam Driver, again, I think he could have done it, but again, I
can't take
so much
Adam Driver seriously after whiny what's his fucking
whiny Jedi boy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I love how
Not saying he's not a good actor
for being whiny, but like, yeah, we're like, he's a fucking Skywalker. We didn't just sit there and watch Anakin bitch about everything.
Yeah,
it
really.
fucking tracks.
Jake Gyllenhaal, I like him as an actor, but I don't know that he could have done this.
Well,
I'll tell you what,
he'd be better than Zachary Levi. You talking about fucking?
Hang on, wait a minute.
No. But wasn't bad. The second one wasn't great, but the first one was really good. I liked it.
First one's
good, funny enough, the guy that plays Thang in this movie, he was actually in Punisher season 1 as Punisher's gun guy, whatever. So he was recast, and technically Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't he? One of the Spider-Man villains. Oh, Mysterio. He was
Mysterio. That's true.
Mysterio. Yeah. So technically that's the Sony universe, but they would have been recasting him. But I still would have took Gyllenhaal over, Mandalorian over here.
Well, if you're sitting here telling me that, like, Iron Man is now Doctor Doom, whatever.
Right. Well, yeah, they've thrown any realism or whatever out the window.
Maybe it's just Mysterio disguising himself as Reed Richards. We don't fucking know.
Hey, he's one dude playing another dude playing another dude. They're just going full Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Penn Badgley either. He's
no,
not really. Zach Levi would have had the look, but I have trouble seeing him as any kind of a serious character because it seems like that's not what he does. I think he's got the look.
Disney's not going to cast Zachary Levi, especially him coming out on the more conservative side politically here recently. He's not getting cast by Disney anytime soon. That's not.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit blackballed. The two names that are interesting to me though, Matt Smith is good at fucking everything. I mean, if there was one saving grace to that awful Morbius movie, it was Matt Smith. He is a fucking star. I love him in everything.
Yeah, Doctor Who. I mean, yeah, that could work.
Yeah, and honestly, Dev Patel is interesting. He's got a lot of. I think his range has not yet fully been defined, and I think he can do. He could have now. He's a bit scrawny to me. For those of you who don't know what he looks like, I'll see if I can find a picture of him real quick. He's a bit scrawny.
As if he's not trying to play a guy who's stretchy. I mean,
Yeah, but at least Pedro Pascal has, at least when he's playing Joel anyway, he has a little bit of, that's a young version of him too from the newsroom. But at least Pedro Pascal's got a bit of, I don't want to say meat to it. He's got a build. That's not going to look
that
picture sucks. I still like my John Hamm fan casting for Reed, but that's just
no.
I mean, I know John Hamm. How much older is John Hamm than Pedro?
John Hamm's probably only a few years older, if that.
I don't know. I mean, considering that they're going for a Mr. Fantastic that's going to be leading the Avengers,
I don't have any.
You need someone established. So I think I would have went with a more, not like saying 70-year-old actor, but somebody with a little more agency about it than what Pedro has. Pedro, he's not the leader. He's not Captain America or Iron Man levels of leader.
America's not even Captain America in this fucking universe. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I really don't.
Like I said, they threw all the stakes out the window. The last time we saw Captain America, he was talking about licking cinnamon rings and getting torn apart from the inside. So.
but yeah, Dev Patel would have been interesting. I mean, like he just did that movie I haven't seen yet called The Monkeys or whatever it is, where he's kind of like Indian John Wick. I think not only would he have filled Disney's outrageously stupid diversity fucking check those boxes, but he's actually a good fucking actor. He's been good a lot, going all the way back to like Slumdog Millionaire and shit like that. Really good actor. I've seen him in
but we saw what happened last time when they tried to race swap, fan force stick, and we saw how well that went. So
that movie, the first half of the movie was good. The second half of the movie completely falls apart. But that wasn't what ruined that movie is studio interference and terrible writing. It had nothing to do with the actors.
Well, but once again, that was another. We need to hold on to the rights, so let's pump one out real quick. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Let's see, and I think we've already touched on this a little bit. I don't even have a good picture of this. I'll go to this one because I don't think I've used this one much either. Let's see. During the opening, it establishes that the Fantastic Four were able to unite all of the world's governments into a utopia, with one exception, Latveria, whose leader is conspicuously absent, foreshadowing Doctor Who showing up in the post-credit scene.
Of course.
Well, that's what I was wondering about. So, do none of these countries have a military or nuclear weapons or anything anymore? Like, did they just go full blown just hippie? Is that what this like? Is the Fantastic Four the only heroes on the entire Earth? They're expected to take care of everything.
In that world, I believe so.
There was protectors, yeah. I think they're the only ones, yeah.
Yeah, they are the Avengers of that world.
Yeah.
Like, so four superpowered human beings are meant to take on. So I guess in this world, the only bad guys the only bad guys in this world are the Fantastic Four canon bad guys. I mean, we only saw a couple of them, but I don't know. That to me, that was a stupid plot line as well. Like, we just went full blown hippie commune and everybody loves each other except for Latveria. But I'm rooting for Dr. Doom here, so whatever.
Bring on the Doom.
Right.
Let's see.
So yeah, good.
Yeah, that's all the trivia I've got. So I'll probably go ahead and start to get your guys' final thoughts as we start to close this thing out. I'll go to you first, Jeremy. Give me your final thoughts on the Fantastic Four first steps.
I think I was going to say heading in a direction. I don't really know what direction, what exit we're getting off at, because I don't really know. But this is something. Like I said, it was at least in this context of this movie, it was contained. It was its own thing, its own set of heroes set up for this world. Although we know somehow wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, that would have been funny if Doctor Who was in this movie, because I know he would have made that joke at some point. I don't know. So, and we saw one glimpse of Doom, so I don't know. If there's some other bit of story here that I'm not aware of yet, or maybe Marvel's not aware of, I'm staring at this crossword puzzle, and I would like to know what the other fill in the blanks are, because I'm going to turn the page and it's going to be a complete puzzle. Like, oh, okay, no, we're here now. But I mean, it was a fun movie. Like, I didn't have too many problems with it. Like I said, other than maybe building up Galactus a little more. But like we said, I think he's coming back. There's more to be had there. But I hope it doesn't get. While I want Doom, I wouldn't want him to be like then just overshadowed by Doom. In that case, I'm like, well, don't then just like kind of throw him away. Do something with it, maybe. I don't know. They introduce the Watcher. Damn it! I keep saying introduce the Watcher. If you have Galactus, like, please give me the Watcher at some point. Because if we are going to do this multiverse crap and we have the What If series where he does exist, he kind of has to be a part. Like he's going to be there observing all this stuff and not interfering. Wink, wink. I need like Catherine Hahn, like giving that big wink to the camera, like I'm not going to intervene. Yeah,
totally not going to intervene. Totally not.
Yeah, like on multiple occasions, dude. You broke your oath so many times. But no, yeah, not a bad watch. Curious to see where we go from here, though.
Tex, how about you? Give me your final thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah, I still prefer the original Fox Fantastic Four film from 05 or whatever. I think that's a better film. This one was entertaining. I didn't regret watching it. I had fun. It was a lot of dumb stuff that I didn't really like, but that's with every movie, especially a Marvel one. We touched on the Galactus and the other issues I had. It for a movie that wants to be as smart as it thinks it is, it's kind of dumb at times. But I'll learn to not to expect much, from big Hollywood these days. Like a six or so out of 10. It's the summer of May when it comes to superhero films. I think it's better than Superman, but not by a lot. And it's definitely the best Marvel movie this year. But once again, that's not saying much either. But
I think this is the only Marvel movie they're releasing.
I think it's the only one. So
Well, no, they had
Ironheart didn't have them, so.
Captain America and Thunderbolts also this year. That also came out.
No, yeah, Thunderbolts did come out. Captain America wasn't last year?
No, it was this
like
year.
February, wasn't it?
Was it February?
It was this year.
Whatever.
Both of those movies came out this year. That's how forgettable they were. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Thunderbolts wasn't bad. Captain America wasn't great, but
like I said, I think this is the best Marvel's done this year, but that's a very low bar. Like that's not hard to get over, but about a 6.
Yeah, I
thought you were gonna say I'll give it a 4. I really thought he was gonna say that. Damn it!
I'll give it.
I'm being nice, like I feel generous today, so I'll be nice. It's all right.
I give it a 4 times 2.
Right.
A fantastic 4 times 2. I don't know. I can't think of a good dad joke or pun to make with this off the top of my head right now. It's too hot in my house.
I still like calling it fantastic flop because that's what I think it is. But whatever. That's my contribution to the dad joke for the day.
It's a good movie. It's got some problems. Some of it is the fact that I'm kind of an asshole when I watch movies anyway, because I'm like, how the hell am I going to build those 40 or 50 huge structures in the span of a month? But I mean, those are just the times where I have trouble turning my brain off, like you should when you're watching a movie like this. But at the same time, it's like, dude, the movie was good. I mean, as far as Marvel's concerned, this was the movie they needed to make. It needed to be good. A lot of people have been talking about, Fantastic Four needs to make $1 billion. Superman needs to make $1 billion. Do not fool yourself into thinking that a big box office means it's a good movie. I bring this up all the time with the Fantastic Four. Those movies make money hand over fist. They were written by 6-year-olds. They're fucking awful. Everything after like the 5th movie is fucking trash. It's like people with the IQ of a carrot enjoy those movies. Nobody who has 2 brain cells rubbing together likes those movies at all. But they make $1 billion because they're flashy. They're the jingly keys in front of the kid. They get your attention and you giggle at them, and that's it. And people spend $20 a ticket to go see those things. Marvel needed to make a good movie. I think they made a good movie. There is some problems with it. Again, I don't like Pedro Pascal in the role. There's a few plot things, and it left me with a lot more questions. But now that I think about it, it's probably in a good way because that's what they did really well in Phase 1. Is they would answer a question from the last movie and then give you 2 more to help you to help build up to what we'd eventually get with like Infinity War and Endgame. But they kind of did that, which is cool. So it did feel like an old school like Phase 1, Phase 2 movie. To that effect. Overall, it was the movie Marvel desperately needed. For all of its flaws, it is much better than Captain America. It's better than Thunderbolts. I thought Thunderbolts was fun. I thought it was a good step, but it wasn't great. But it's better than Thunderbolts. This is a huge step back on the path of righteousness for Marvel. That's what this movie was. And that's what it desperately needed to be. So whether it makes $1 billion or not, I don't know. Maybe it will. I mean, Superman just crossed the $500 million mark after I think 16 days. And I don't see any reason why this movie won't do roughly the same in that amount of time, give or take a few $1 million, whatever. It's a good movie. You should watch it. It's proof that the creatives are taking the MCU back from the pencil pushing assholes that were trying to make movies a couple of years ago and fucking it all up. I think that's the most important thing to take from this movie is that Kevin Feige's back in control of the ship. He's letting creative guys do creative stuff and make these projects into what they should be. That's my take from this movie. It was entertaining. It was fun. A good post credit scene. It was kind of like it was an important post credit scene, which is something that Marvel had struggled with the last 10 movies, 15 movies. It's like it's okay for every once in a while to have the comedic thing. The mid credit scene is the important one that we talked about. The post credit scene was just like the opening of the cartoon on 60s TV, and then you see Herbie's hand reach in and turn it off. It was kind of funny and cool like that, but I mean, it wasn't important. Marvel. It
was important as Who Wants Shawarma. It was that
Marvel. Well, I mean, it's like once in a while those are okay, but Marvel had gotten in the bad habit of just making all their scenes those funny little one shots, and I'm like, those things don't do what we want you to do with these post-credit scenes. Go back to the very first one with Samuel L. Jackson in Tony's living room saying, I want to talk about the Avenger Initiative. Mm-hmm. Great post-credit scene. And then for most of the movies after that, we had something that just like teased us for what was coming. And it's like they got away from that for a long time by hitting us with these little comedic and I'm like, they're fun and all, but that's not what I want out of these post-credit scenes. I mean, stick to the one-shots for the funny little bullshit. I would love for Marvel to go back to making the one-shots. Those one-shots were a lot of fun. 10 minutes, little mini movies.
That one about the Mandarin that they did about the true Mandarin, that was one of the better ones.
Yeah, that was a good one. Those one shots were great. I don't know why Marvel stopped making those, but yeah, it's a good movie. Go see it in theaters while you have a chance. It should be seen in theaters. You can wait for it to come out on Disney Plus if you want, but you're wasting your fucking time. There's way too many cool visual things in this movie, like walking around Galactus' a spaceship, seeing a planet get eaten up when they first meet Galactus, all the cool flying around and the explosions and all that cool shit. All the effects should be seen on a big screen. So by all means, go to the theater, see it there, enjoy it the way a movie like this should be enjoyed. And help out your local theaters as well. But we'll go ahead and end it right there. Boy, we talked quite a bit. Connor from Horny Goat was going to be here. I totally forgot to reach out to him the last couple of days and remind him. My mistake. But I did talk. I was messaging with him earlier. He said he liked the movie. He thought it was very good. I promise. Next time we do anything Marvel, I'll have Connor here. It was my mistake that he was not on here. I did not reach out to him and confirm everything because I've been busy, but yeah, Connor liked it, which is important. Go check out the Horny Goat as well. They're in the link in the description below. Let's see, to my awesome co-host for doing another great job tonight, guys. As always, my hetero life mate Jeremy. Where can the folks at home find you, sir?
I'm here on Tuesday and Thursdays, and hopefully we won't take a whole month to do Clerks 3, which is coming on Thursday. Right, I assure you.
Jeremy's going to pull about 1 million pictures for that, I'm sure.
Yes, considering by some weird twist of fate, this is actually going to be a first watch for me for Clerks 3. I think I bought it on physical like when it came out because I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to do that. But I'm glad this worked out this way. But yeah, this will be a first watch for me. So yeah, it's going to be hard to not like take every single like frame of this movie and put it into the show. But I'll try to contain myself for Thursday. So Clerks 3 on Thursday.
If I can't somehow get over to your place to watch it with you, I hope that Rachel will record your reaction to the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, because this is the first time she's seen these movies too, so I'm like, she's also going through it with, I mean,
I'll be watching Thursday's review 100%.
Yeah, it's boy, Kevin. Like
I'm it's gonna put me in some feels, and I don't know if I'm ready for it. I really don't know.
Kevin Smith's growth as a filmmaker is clearly evident just the Clerks movies. It's so damn good, but his meta is in peak golden form in this movie. Like he is the king of all meta. He does it in a way that I didn't even know he could do it. He at the end of the movie, I was just like, God damn, how did I not see him?
If Jane saw about the reboot is anything to go off of, that being the most meta, self-aware fucking movie he'd made right before that. I mean, if that's anything to go off of, yeah, I'm sure I'll enjoy this.
Yeah, it's quite a movie. I would love to try to be there to watch it with you, to experience it with you for the first time.
He's seen it. Frank's even sitting there fucking filming me the whole goddamn time.
I will stand there with my phone and be like, I just want your reaction so we can put this.
Frank will be sitting next to the TV watching Jeremy instead of the movie.
Yeah, he's already seen it, so he doesn't have to. He's gonna watch me and how I fucking handle this movie.
I didn't know till like a month ago or so. Jeremy and I were talking, and he hadn't seen it yet. I was like, really? It's like, because it took me a while to see it because I was busy and it wasn't in theaters for like 15 minutes. It was just one of those things. Actually, I think he went on tour. He only showed it at certain theaters, so it wasn't like I could just go buy a ticket and watch it. And I finally, got it on like Amazon Prime or something one day and watched it. And I was like, holy shit, this may be Kevin Smith's magnum opus. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Tex, where can the folks at home find you, my friend?
Thursday, I'm seeing a film I'm really looking forward to. It's a body horror is back in a big way, and Dave Franco and Alison Brie, the husband and wife pair in the film together. Nick from Lost River Drive-In's already seen the film, and he's praising it from what I saw on X today. So I will be seeing that on Thursday. I'll send Frank another out of theater reactions and yada yada whatever. But this weekend, go watch Together. I've seen enough of the trailers to know I'm very excited for it, and I'm not watching anymore. I'm not looking at spoilers. I'm not looking at anything because this is one of the ones that I want to go into as blind as possible and hoping for some David Lynch levels of weird. And it looks like it's going to deliver. So check out Together. And then watch these two on Thursday. And I will definitely be watching that review as well because I'm intrigued about how Jeremy's going to guy, so I'll be here for that too.
Isn't Naked Gun also coming out this weekend?
The
The first, yeah. Technically, I guess I'll be seeing. I think I have tickets for Naked Gun already. I'm not sure. If not, I'll be getting them.
Naked Gun, and in a week, the King of the Hill revival comes out too. So we got that.
August 4th, King of the Hill. I'm excited.
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill on Hulu. Don't screw that up, Mike Judge. I grew up on King of the Hill. It's based on my area of Texas.
I've been watching the newer Beavis and Butthead shit little by little over the course of the last year or so, and he's still doing good with Beavis and Butthead. It's still right where it should be. I have a feeling he's going to be true to it. I have a feeling
from the reviews that I read from the Texas Monthly, whatever, they said the show keeps its roots from what the original was, and I'm really hoping for that. I want that to be good because I love King of the Hill. So.
Yeah, King of the Hill is classic shit. But as for me, you will see me back here, and obviously we're going to be doing Naked Gun next Tuesday. The reviews on that are starting to come out. They're awesome. The trailers look amazing. I don't know.
The marketing is hilarious too.
The marketing's been hilarious. There's no way. I even think they had a little bit of tie-in stuff for this movie, didn't they?
He did one for like Superman, like before Superman.
He did one for Superman,
but watching some guy run around in his red tights.
What did he say? This guy has an S on his chest, and he had a butterfly tattoo on a tramp stamp or something, or some nonsense.
Yeah, he did.
Can't remember what he said. Yeah, it was something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I mean, I'm hoping that Liam Neeson's second career is going to be comedy, just like it was for
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen. Because he's
done. That's the point. He's the gruff, badass, but he can be goofy too.
He's done comedy here and there, but he's a very talented actor. I feel like if you just let him do a bunch of comedic shit for the rest of his career, it's going to be the second coming of Liam Neeson. It's going to be great.
With him being so serious but being funny.
He's hooked up with Seth MacFarlane and all those Family Guy people, so he's with the right crew.
Yeah. But you'll see me back here in a couple days with Jeremy breaking down the final film of the Clerks trilogy. I assure you, we are going to have a lot of fun talking about this movie. Again, very meta, very awesome. Dante and Randall, mine and Jeremy's spirit animals, are going to be they're a third ride through the Viewist universe. I'm looking forward to doing that one. I'm sure Jeremy's already pulled 1.5 million pictures for that. If not, I'm sure he's going to over the course of the next 48 hours. But that's going to be a fun review.
I wanted to see it first, so I knew okay, I might have an idea of which ones I want, and then I'm gonna have trouble trying to restrain myself.
Well, they're all on that website, so you're gonna have.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to. Yeah,
but I do want you to watch it first because some of the stills that I've found already are big time spoilers. So so don't look. Maybe
that's also kind of why I didn't want to. Yeah, I want to watch it first because if I see something, I'll be like, what does that mean? Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, because there's some things and some stuff that happened in this movie. I don't want you to get spoiled. I want you to enjoy them. I want you to enjoy them fresh. But thanks to all of you for coming and hanging out. We very much appreciate it. Thanks to my co-host, so awesome as usual. We will be back here on Thursday, first 3 on Tuesday to do the Naked Gun, and then Thursday after that, I don't know. We'll think of something. There's plenty of stuff that we need to get to. A lot of re-reviews we probably need to start getting to. But we will see you guys next time. Until then, adios.
Clobbering time,
baby.
When Casey
we had to get one.
When Casey says "flame on," it usually means he's letting the gay guy into his window.
I thought it was because it's
letting him in or letting him out after he's done with it. Which one?
Something like that, sure.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.